Chat, we're live. Whoa, we're here. Welcome on in, everybody. Central Committee Stream with your host, Mike from PA. We are live once again, live and alive. I mean, yeah. CYH51, thank you for the tier 1 for 3 months in advance. Hell yeah, brother. How's everybody doing today? Welcome on in to the Central Committee Stream with your host, Mike from PA. We are alive and alive. What is there to say today, chat? What is there to say today? I saw something from Ethan Klein, and this is our Klein Clatch. This is what we do when we grab our coffee. This is how we get our blood flowing, because whenever you see Ethan Klein, let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves. Can I be honest? I'm going to be the bad person. It's okay. You're allowed to be a little bit of a bad person here. I'm going to be a petty bad person for a second. I am enjoying watching Ethan Klein fall apart. I'm enjoying watching him spiral. I'm enjoying him in his bubble of delusion and being gaslit by Destiny fans and Asmongold fans to think that there's like broad support for him. I fucking love it. And like, it's gonna end. Like that, even that delusion is gonna slowly start hollowing itself out. I want to give you an example of what I'm talking about. There's this
during his life.
Okay, dude. There's this group, there's a person called, it's like H3 crash out, content crash out, something like that. Fuck. There it is. They have a tweet, or not a tweet, a TikTok making fun of Ethan Klein with 700,000 likes. Where the fuck is it? Oh, here it is.
You know who hit me up today?
3.6 million views, 656,000 likes. This is double the content cop. This is 6 times or 5 to 6 times the content nuke. This is from 2 days ago. I mean, look at this.
On Instagram, Teddy Fresh. They said, hey, we'd love to send you some stuff. How about that? Sorry, I don't know. Do I need like media training now that I'm like, have more people in here? How about, how about?
By the way, chat, the one thing that H3 had going for it was basically, I think of Vanilla Mace as like, I don't mean this to sound, I'm not saying this to be mean, because I think she's a really, this is the highest compliment I can think of. She honestly reminds me of like a cousin of mine. Like, I feel like, doesn't she feel like that cool cousin you have? I don't know if Zoomers have cousins anymore because the birth rate is dropping so fast, but she reminds me of like a really cool cousin I had. You know what I mean? Like the one where you would like go to family functions and it would be kind of a bummer, but then you had that one cool cousin who was a little bit older and they were just like, they were a lot of fun. They were really nice. They mentored you, but they were also, you know what I mean? Like her vibes are just impeccable. Like maybe one of the best vibes. And this is the type of person that used to be Ethan Klein's bread and butter. And now liking him as a fucking laughing stock. And I think she may be. Like, I actually am super pumped for her growth. Like, it's such a good vibe shift. You know what I mean? Like she is cool.
How about, oh, brother, this guy stinks. The fuck? Are you out of your freaking mind?
I don't want to compare her to, like, how do I don't want to compare her to other creators, but I think she is like, but I'm still going to do it anyway. She's like a wholesome, she's exactly the kind of content creator we need on Twitch. She's like the modern Jenna Marbles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the person that I've been calling for. I've been begging for. I'm like, I've been going to Twitch and I'd be like, you need to find these people. Like, stop catering to these dumb incel gamers. Like, fuck them. They're meaningless. And like, for the longest time on Twitch, there have been 3 types of streamers. There have been the corporate stooges, the saccharine, like, I'm here to play games and have good vibes. I want you to leave all that stuff behind and just escape into my wonderland of good vibes and no politics, No serious discussions. We just play the latest games. Like that shit, right? That's the corporate streamers, right? Then you have the soul-sucking, fucking disgusting, like, rat fuck, alt-right coded, I'm such an edgy boy and we hate girls. That's your Asmongold's. And then you had this kind of like, I don't know how else to put, people advertising their sex work. Which I have nothing against sex workers. I think people are fucking lame for complaining about it. But that's largely like, you know, that's been most of Twitch. Like those three types of streamers. So, you know, Hassan and I and a lot of the politics people, the progressive politics people, we're breaking out of that mold. And we're bringing a new type of content to Twitch, which is political discussion, a political discussion live stream, AM radio for Zoomers, you know, and millennials, whatever you want to call it. Like this is a totally different type of content, right? We are opening it up, and we're a combination of all of it. So true. I'm advertising. Hey, yo, Gopnik, what's up, man? I'm advertising my sex work, and then so the problem with Twitch is we don't have people that are like not corporate chills and normal and not fucking like disgusting, you know, edgelord fascist people. Vanilla Mace is like what women want to watch, like normal, healthy, well-adjusted women. And she is not like, you know, she's not oriented towards just like being so corporate, but she's a little bit more authentic and normal. And so watching her grow, I'm like, finally, this is what Twitch needs to start to become normal. We need somebody like her so that Twitch could be a little bit more normal and somebody like Asmongold can go away.
The H3 fans are going to come after you. Oh, fuck! The millennials who wear only pastel. The millennial who only wear color block pastel, they're gonna come for me? Fuck! God damn it! Please, even if Ethan wasn't a raging frigging lunatic, I still would never wear fucking titty. Just so butt-ass ugly.
Ethan Klein is too much of a pussy to attack Vanilla Mace. Humbug. Humbug, I will gift you 6 months of subs if he actually attacks her. He's too much of a pussy. All right, he did it on Instagram, but he's too much of a pussy to attack her. There's no way he does that. 6 months of subs gifted from me to you if he attacks Vanilla Mace on his stream. If he takes like, how long would it mean? Like at least a half hour. If he does a half-hour hit on Vanilla Mace, then I'll give you 6 months of subs. He's too much of a pussy to do that. Oh man,
don't think you have much hope, especially after this, but let's see. The reason that we ever got in touch is because Taylor Lorenz 3.0, she has a snark meme page that posted such an obscenely mean, psychotic message about me. We had to actually check with people that knew her firsthand to see if it was actually her that left the message. Let me read it to you. This was on a post about me being
Hey Hugo, you got Nick. I'll be counting the minutes. Hell yeah, brother. Do it. I want you to know that we've been doing our Ethan Klein slop to start the stream because it wakes me up and it just puts me in such a good mood. Like, it's so funny because like, there's a few communities who have creators who've obsessed with me for years and years and years. It's free coffee, exactly. And they think that like creators can like joust with me, but we've already done it in the past and they've failed utterly, which is why they spend their time doing this shit. I like to make fun of them. You know what I need to do? I need to make an edit. I'm gonna make an edit. It's gonna be a fucking I'm gonna show it to you guys.
A meme about me being obsessed with his son. She said, he needs to log off. Every influencer has a snark page, and if he wants it taken down, he needs to go through legal channels, not publicly bait them. Normally I'd have sympathy, but Ethan has spent the last year absolutely terrorizing and stalking anyone obsessed with his son while spouting Zionist propaganda. He needs to log off for a long time and get his head straight. Here's the best part, guys. And clean up his house so his kids aren't crawling around in dog feces. Here's the best part, guys. This was after CPS was called. Can you imagine that, right, guys?
Oh, man, dude. He's tweaking the fuck out. Like, I know that everybody wants you to cancel you for being ableist. He's like stealing unprescribed Adderall from his crew. He's tweaking. It is what it is. What do you want me to say? You want me to pretend like that's not real? For civility's sake? You want me to pretend it's not real? I mean, look at this fucking guy. And I tweeted this morning because, like, what could you even say?
It's funny, these guys love talking about manufacturing consent. This is what you've been doing. You've been building intentionally. There's no other.
One of the things I like about Ethan Klein is that he's legitimately stupid. Like, he's legitimately stupid. He doesn't understand that manufacturing consent refers to a specific political and socio theory by, you know, presented by Noam Chomsky about how the media, the political media, the press in America is controlled structurally by the capitalist class. It's not individual people saying propaganda, you stupid fuck. He's like too illiterate and stupid. He just thinks manufacturing consent is when you make arguments.
Outcome that makes sense than this. When you dehumanize an entire group of people, when you talk about, when you describe, Hassan described, anyone who's ever had any type of Zionist feelings in their life is not fit to be a dog catcher who's a Nazi.
What's really interesting about this is, like, Ethan Klein thinks this is some sort of hit. And honestly, like, I think that if you're a Zionist in 2025, you are the equivalent to a Nazi in 1946. You know, it's one thing, you know, you could argue people were confused by fascism in like 1933 or something, and maybe they didn't believe that the you know, anti-Semitism would ever lead to real oppression. But in 1946, you've taken tours through Auschwitz. You're not confused, all right? Millions and millions of corpses have been discovered, all right? We're not confused. Like, there was a huge world war to stop fascism, okay? You know what it is. If you're a Nazi in 1946, you are a special type of scum. Above and beyond even Nazis of before. Like, you are actually pure fucking evil. I think being a Zionist in 2025 is on that level. And to be complaining about that is insane. You have people there are legitimately former prime ministers of Israel now saying that Israel is committing wanted war crimes, and certain scholars, like all genocide scholars, are calling it a genocide. You're complaining about people not liking that. Shut the fuck up, you whiny bitch. Fuck you.
This is what happens, right? You're basically.
I've been reading Manufacturing Consent on your and Hassan's recommendation last week, but very enlightening as someone who's new to the movement. It's very, very, very easy to read. I think I read that in undergrad or something, and it intuitively explains why the media sucks so much and why smart people don't seem to get rewarded, whereas the people who get rewarded are like Ezra Klein and Matty Iglesias, because they're wrong. The fact that they're so confidently wrong and they never learn is why the elites love them. I just finished yesterday's VOD, and my suggestion for themes to make videos on is what the Democratic Party's function actually is, with examples and anecdotes and everything. No one on the left knows the DNC better. It'll be get play on Hassan and wham bam, your channel will be up and running. That's a good point. I like that idea. More ideas.
Giving these people permission to act out violence on anyone outside of a Jewish museum in Washington, D.C.
Okay, so what's really interesting about this is I want to point out that I'm against the adventurous random attack of low-level staffers that was done in Washington, D.C. And that because of the rules against violence and advocating for it on Twitch and other platforms, I would never do that, okay? I would never say that you should go out there and do that because that would get me banned. So of course I would never do that. Okay, I can't. But this guy wasn't a random Jew. First of all, he wasn't Jewish. 2, he was a Zionist. He was a Christian Zionist. And 3, he was a supporter of genocide. He was going around taunting people for their families being killed in Gaza. This guy was a Christian supporter of the genocide. He's not a random guy outside a Jewish museum. And the event was a event for Israeli spies, okay? Let's not be confused. This wasn't a random Jewish person. This wasn't a synagogue, okay? It was a event for Israeli spies and diplomats, and he was a Christian Zionist. There is no anti-Semitism at all. Now, was it murder? Yes.
And, you know.
And he knows that too. I mean, he's calling me a terrorist now regularly.
That's it.
He knows what he's doing when he does that.
If you're a terrorist, then that justifies the craziest people in his audience doing whatever they want.
Yeah.
He interviewed Bad Empanada, bro.
Graceful.
He interviewed a fucking, basically a terrorist. And then I have some criticism for Hassan, who is an outright supporter of, quite literally. He is a champion for terrorism and a supporter of terrorism. And by the way, Hassan, if you think I'm done with you, I'm not done with you by a mile. I'm taking the trash out. I'm saving you for my main course, you fucking propagandist, lying scumbag, terrorist supporter. Only people left on your website is going to be Hassan, who, by the way, is a terrorist supporter. Today, my friends, we are going to play the exciting game here. You at home, play along. We're going to play. Is it Twitch or is it a terrorist? Let's take a look here, guys. Start. He's interviewing a terrorist. It's not that he's interviewing a terrorist, because I've seen Hassan try to deflect this, saying, oh, CNN reached me, BBC reached me, they want to talk to him. And Hassan is working overtime to convince people that this child, who is a terrorist, not child, he's like 20.
So basically, Ethan Klein, this guy has done nothing wrong, as far as we know. He's just a guy from Yemen. He's happy to call him a terrorist. Your wife illegally raided civilians in Ramallah. She's an admitted criminal, an admitted war criminal.
This kid who's a terrorist is just like Luffy. Our lovely terrorist, cute terrorist.
His wife has a name. I'm sorry, Gila Klein committed war crimes. Sorry. Was
quick to embrace the meme. This obvious terrorist. This kid is a terrorist. This kid is a rampant anti-Semite and a violent Houthi terrorist. This dude is Jew-hating terrorist. This Houthi pirate. I mean, who are you kidding? This guy's a fucking terrorist. There is no other way to describe this than terrorist propaganda. Not only is he platforming terrorist propaganda, right, uncritically, he's participating in it. He's enhancing it. He is not just a conduit. He is an active participant.
Okay, so you think the IDF is a terror organization?
I said yes.
You believe the IDF
I think it's fair to characterize them that way.
Your wife was in the IDF.
Yeah.
Do you believe your wife is a terrorist?
Of course not.
You have considered a 19-year-old Yemeni TikToker who is not even a part of the Al-Houthi family with no Houthi affiliation, but simply a person that says he stands with the Houthis, and I do too, a terrorist over and over again because he has a gun in the second highest gun ownership density per capita. And because he responded to a fucking Instagram comment saying he's a soldier, a dude who doesn't even speak English.
Let's watch this.
You kept claiming that he was a terrorist over and over again.
He is.
His name is Rashid Al-Haddad. He is not even a fucking Zaidi Shia.
Okay, see, the problem is with talking to somebody like Ethan Klein is he's too stupid to understand things that you're saying. He doesn't believe in words. He doesn't believe in thoughts. You can say whatever you want, and he's just going to say, no, he's a terrorist. No, he's a terrorist. His wife is a terrorist. Quoting Ethan Klein. What the fuck is this? Why are you linking me? Again, guys, you don't link me shit that has hundreds of views. Like, what are you fucking doing?
He's not even a part of the Houthi family.
Let's watch the evidence.
His last name would be Al-Houthi, not Al-Haddad. Okay.
Let's watch the evidence.
This person, you looked at a 19-year-old fucking teenager who's a TikToker.
Terrorist.
It's not exactly true, Mike. The current precedent of the IHL typically excludes low-level military members in favor of commander responsibility. You don't need to be hyperbolic to shit on the Kleins. I don't know what her rank was. I don't know what her rank is. Okay, like she very well could have maybe she was a private, I don't know. I mean, but what if she was like a lieutenant? That doesn't matter. I'm responding. Do you know what commander responsibility means? She was in the IDF for more than a year, so she was probably a 2-star general. Also, here's the thing. Just because you're a low-level soldier and we haven't, traditionally prosecuted many low-level soldiers doesn't mean you're not a war criminal. Doesn't mean you couldn't be prosecuted. Just following orders is not a legitimate defense.
See it from Rashid al-Haddad's perspective.
Yeah,
and
he's a fucking terrorist.
I mean, he's calling me a terrorist now regularly. He knows what
Your husband called you a terrorist.
He's doing when he does that.
If you're a terrorist, then that justifies the craziest people in his audience doing whatever they want.
Yeah.
My wife's a terrorist. My wife is a terrorist. She's a terrorist. She's a terrorist, bro.
By the way, notice the reason why he kept doing this is this, again, I've talked about this before, but this is the doctrine of surrender, which is basically he can't actually argue the point about what a terrorist is or isn't. So in order to avoid having to have a conversation about that and for him to admit that he lied about this kid and lied about Hassan, because his main thesis is Hassan talked to this guy is a terrorist, therefore Hassan is supporting the terrorism and doing propaganda for terrorists, right? Well, if this kid isn't a terrorist, if he's just some random kid who went viral on TikTok, then all of the other things about how dangerous Hassan are fall apart, right? Like all of his arguments about terrorism and supporting terrorism fall apart. So Ethan Klein, to avoid having conversations about that, has to just admit his wife's a terrorist so he can hopefully move on to the next topic. Ethan Klein, you say your wife is a terrorist. I agree with you. She's a terrorist. You're right. Now what? You're a terrorist supporting show? H3 is terrorist propaganda? You should be deplatformed. You and your wife admit to be terrorists. And there are large terrorist groups in Israel, even by the United States. There are Kahanist groups that the United States has declared terrorist. Is your wife a supporter of the Kahanist groups that are declared terrorists?
It's the funny thing about me. I don't like terrorism. And I don't like terrorists.
Yes, you do. You're married to one, and by your own admission. You said, not me. You said it.
Israelis are doing terrorists too. They're terrorists. I mean, and they have all the power. Israel has all the power. The power imbalance is crazy, right?
What happened to this, Ethan, is narcissistic spiral, narcissistic smear campaign. What happens with narcissists, and this is very important. It's like narcissistic smear campaign. I can't spell, but it'll be fine. Okay. What happens with narcissists when they have a major life event, when you break up with a narcissist, whether it's professionally or personally, friendship, relationships, whatever, family, whenever you say to a narcissist, you and my relationship is irretrievably broken. We're going to go our separate ways. We have different values. You don't value me. You don't treat me like a human being, whatever. Whenever you say no to a narcissist and they have attached a large portion of their identity to you, they will freak the fuck out. What is a narcissist smear campaign? A narcissist smear campaign is when a person with narcissistic traits or narcissistic personality disorder uses manipulative tactics to attack someone's character. They often do this by spreading false or exaggerated information to mutual friends or acquaintances, family, colleagues, and online communities. The narcissist's goal is to undermine the survivor's credibility and damage their reputation and relationships. This typically serves to elevate the narcissist's own status or to retaliate against perceived slights. This is literally Destiny and Ethan Klein. This is it. This is their entire life now. Because we don't give a shit. We moved on and we succeeded, and they're honestly irrelevant to the world. Narcissists may initiate smear campaigns anytime they feel shame or experience a perceived attack. This can manifest differently depending on the context of the relationship. The narcissist may share personal, often distorted information to mutual friends and family. They try to paint themselves as the victim while framing the other person as the antagonist. A narcissist may attempt to ruin the credibility of an employee or employer in response to being fired, a bad review, or a perceived insult. For example, they may spread rumors about a colleague's incompetence or dishonesty to discredit them or sabotage their career. It acts as a defensive mechanism. If a narcissist feels threatened by someone's attack, status, or mere presence, they might use a smear campaign to preemptively strike against those who they believe could expose their flaws or criticize them. And like, this is textbook shit. So all this stuff about like what Ethan Klein used to say when there was when Leftovers was going on, when he was connected to Hassan, when he was considered progressive or whatever, that's gone. The narcissist doesn't give a shit about any of that. He never cared about any of that. He did the same thing to Trisha Paytas, harassed her for months. Yeah, of course he did. So Ethan Klein, just absolute pathetic fucking loser. Continues to be hated by all. And overall, just a disgusting fucking loser. There was a video by Bada Panada that I wanted to show you. Hold on. Oh, yes.
So this might be...
Did H3 do charity fraud? This is a question. So it appears that Ethan Klein was misleading his audience to donate to a Zionist think tank.
So this might be the worst thing
Did we
that I've
watch this already?
seen the H3 podcast do so far, and that's obviously saying a lot. They are scamming people into donating for Palestine, except it's not actually donations for Palestine. It's not donating to like a charity like the UNRWA.
Oh, we did? Oh, okay. Okay, good. Never mind. I thought I just watched it on my own. Maybe we watched it together. Hold on. This is the one I wanted to watch.
Used lately by Zionists to sort of say, hey, look, we have a Palestinian who agrees with us. And you can tell that they keep... So Ethan Klein held a stream with like the one Palestinian token who is being used lately by Zionists to sort of say, hey, look, we have a Palestinian who agrees with us. And you can tell that...
Yo, Mike, did you see that Asmod is sipping for Mark Anderson's gaming company, A's16Z, saying they reached out to me and they sure do have a lot more money than those other losers? He's doing the thing you spoke about Steve Bannon's doing by allowing billionaires to set the agenda in gaming. Mark Anderson is going to not produce anything of value. Narcissists are intrinsically insecure. They usually have schemas from childhood related to being unlovable or unworthy. And whatever outside input is congruent with that schema, they are activated and freak the fuck out. As you said, just saying this cause demonizing people with personality disorders is sucky. I don't think I'm demonizing everybody with narcissistic personality disorder. I think a lot of us have narcissistic traits. I have narcissistic traits. I'm sure many of you have narcissistic traits. It's not about taking all narcissists and putting them into a box. However, when somebody who has narcissistic personality disorder is acting in a textbook narcissistic way, I'm going to call it out. And I'm going to say, this is the type of behavior that is a narcissistic crash out. And this is why they're doing it. And this is why he's so obsessed and why he can't get over it and move on. Because he's not mentally healthy and he needs mental health treatment. I'm not going to shy away from that. Call me ableist or whatever the fuck you want. I'm fine with that. All right. Ethan Klein is mentally ill and he's a dangerous person. He's a danger to me. He's a danger to Hassan. He's a danger to anybody who criticizes him and his ugly clothes and terrorist wife. All right. That's the reality. So I'm not going to shy away from it. I'll be the mean guy. It's fine. Like, he had 50 Instagram stories about Taylor Lorenz. He basically tried to imply that Vanilla Mace was anti-Semitic. Like, he's joining in with literal Nazis. He like complimented Sam Hyde, an actual Nazi. Like, what can you even say?
They keep reusing the exact same...
By the way, if you have narcissistic traits, self-reflect. When you feel yourself falling into one of these rabbit holes or one of these traps and you start lashing out, reach out to someone you trust. Reach out to a mental health provider and work on creating coping mechanisms and healthy thought patterns to break yourself out. Just because you have a personality disorder, just because you have mental health struggles doesn't give you carte blanche to be antisocial.
Guy. There's like 5 to 10 of these guys total. By how much difficulty these people have finding a token who will say what they want to say. They all get the same guy, Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib. Like, it's the same guy I made a video about back in November last year. They just keep reusing these guys. They just keep reusing the same guy.
This weekend was exhausting, but I won't be silenced. I will keep making IG stories about anyone on the internet that doesn't like me. And if I have to, I will sue every single one of them. Y'all a bunch of online losers and I am the... Is this real? This isn't real, is it? This isn't real. This has to be fake.
People calling CPS on him and stuff. What does that got to do with me? Why I didn't fucking know? Okay. And also, too, don't you think when it gets to a point like that where, like, you're, like like your mental health is being affected at that point, which he said on his story. He was like, of course, like, you know, if people are calling like CPS and like trying to 5150 me or something like that, then why don't we get off the internet for a little bit? Like, people are like legitimately trying to call CPS. Like, that's not, like, I don't give a fuck how bad of a person or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, if somebody is not like abusing their fucking kids, they don't deserve to get CPS called on them. Like, that's not funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everyone totally agrees with that. But as far as I know, Ethan Klein admitted we had nothing to do with it. So maybe someone in his family or someone in his, like, he's just saying we did it, victimize himself. He made it up. He admitted he made it up. He made it up. Maybe it was his ex-housekeeper that's suing him for abusing her and denying her her rightfully owed medical leave. Maybe it's the pediatrician. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know who called CPS, and neither does he. So he should shut the fuck up and stop bringing it up unless he can prove we had something to do with it.
But that's the last thing I'm going to say about that. I don't really have anything else to say. Literally, I literally fucking said that Teddy Fresh is fucking ugly. I said that Teddy Fresh was ugly and that I don't like the clothes and that they hit me up. And I was kind of like read the room kind of a situation. And then he got really mad. And I just said that he was like freaking crazy or something. And he got really, really upset about that. How about... But also, what does that have to do with me? Hey, I said your clothes are ugly. Hey, I said that your clothes are ugly. And then you want to know what pissed me off the most? You want to know what pissed me off the freaking most? That somebody said, oh, that's so unfortunate because this stuff is like totally her vibe.
The biggest insult. Holy shit. Holy shit. Can you imagine somebody said Teddy Fresh is your vibe? Yo! Holy shit. I think I would have to spend some time reflecting if somebody said Teddy Fresh is my vibe. Holy shit. Yo! God damn, that's a cut. Oh, I would fight them. Those are fighting words. I don't think a jury would convict. Yo, guys. Yo, like, why is their logo a teddy bear? Does anybody know why their logo is a teddy bear? It's kind of questionable, right?
And I will say, though, I was corrected on here. Somebody said, waiting room comment.
Their kid's name is Teddy? Oh, that's interesting. They named him Teddy? Or like Theodore? They used to call each other Ted as a pet name. They named their son after Theodore Herzl, the Zionist. Is that true, or are you just speculating? Keela just said she always liked the name Teddy. Huh. Are they were they big 4chan people? Like, is Ethan Klein a big 4chan person? Like, was he big into 4chan culture?
I had made a comment off of something that I obviously saw on TikTok that he had said something about somebody being a waiting room, but somebody clarified it. And just so you know, that comment was actually him referring to a person being a waiting room streamer, not like calling her like in her freaking womb a waiting room. So I was like, okay.
And if that doesn't justify a CPS call, then what does, Denims? You're trying to sit on the fence? You're trying to have your cake and eat it too? Is that what's happening?
Children.
It's just like a really weird strategy that they do where they're like, anybody who makes leftist content is a waiting room for Hassan, right? Like that's their whole point. It's like, oh, you make leftist content? You must be a waiting room for Assad. It's like called being a political commentator. What, do you think there's one political commentator job in the world? Honestly, I love that insult. It's my favorite insult because everything that links me to Hassan in the algorithm is good.
Those people should have CPS called on them 1000%. These people, like, I think that there's some level of negligence happening here, and I think it's irresponsible. I don't think CPS should be
How fucking dare you talk about my kids, you loser, you childless hack. You fucking waiting room.
Ethan Klein calling anybody else a hack that's crazy, dude. That's fucking crazy, dude. If anything, Hassan is a Mike after party.
Trotting them out. And Ethan Klein, who...
People will come and be like, Mike, you watched this video and you had a take on it. And then Hassan watched it and he had the same take. Like, yeah. Because we agree on stuff. It's called Marxist, Socialist, Dialectical Materialist Analysis. Because we both understand it, we both will apply it, and we will oftentimes arrive at similar conclusions. That's how you know we're not just making shit up. The fact that there's consistency shows that our method is reliable and repeatable.
Previously said, you know, he would never use a Palestinian as a token.
No, I think Assad just watches you and steals your takes. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We occasionally collab, he occasionally watches, but the idea that he's just stealing my takes is ridiculous and honestly insulting to both of us. Because it's like, first of all, he was on Twitch before me. So like, what are you talking about?
Never do that. Literally a month ago, he said that, by the way.
Like, I'm going to be like, hey, you need to, you know, I have a whole group of...
I think H3's community called CPS, personally. I think H3's community called CPS. I think somebody from his community called CPS, personally. Ethan's household is crumbling. These are all paid members. Sonny ate the poo-poo. Ethan, we got to quarantine your home. The Kleins are playing Human Centipede. Everyone got dysentery. It's like goddamn Oregon Trail in your house. The kid ate the dog poo-poo somehow. No, but the caca breath. Did you ingest Gila's poop? How did Gila get it then? Ethan caca Klein. Oh my God. How did Gila and Sodi get it? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Ethan ate Gila's poop. What's happening in the Klein household? A mod. So y'all just eating poop at the home. Gila and Sony adjusted your poop? Question mark. Maybe don't share this info. LOL. So you guys are feeding Sonny poop? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Are you guys gonna give the crew workers comp for when they inevitably get sick from you? Lol. Poop house, literally. At this point, I think you should keep these things to yourself. Gotta change y'all's name to Kleineria. Kleineria. What is happening in your house? This is Klein's house epidemic. Somebody call the CDC. Uh-oh. Woo, 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 woo. The Klein poop house. Yo, your house is the center for patient zero. Bro, the Klein household always going crazy with nasty stuff. That studio is covered head to toe in excrement. These are your paid members. I think we should all condemn Ethan Klein's community, H3H3, for calling CPS on H3H3. Or maybe they called the CDC, and the CDC called CPS.
Palestinian friends who are pro-Israel. By the way, there's a lot of them. They exist.
There's a lot of them. There's so many of them that he had to find the one guy who's constantly trotted out by Zionists. Like the one fucking guy they all know and love. They always bring the exact same guy on.
Imagine me telling this is exactly analogous. Me going exactly to Hassan or Ian, I need you to go talk to my Palestinian friend who's pro-Israeli. Like you'll listen to him. Mm-hmm. Do you see the problem?
Just don't understand.
And also,
that.
It's just tokenizing minorities, which is just like it made me uncomfortable, and it's not something I would ever do. I would never be like, yo, you need to go talk to the Palestinian pro-Israelis because you'll listen to them. Like, I would never do that. That feels dirty. That feels insane.
He's been doing it with this guy for fucking months, and now he invites him onto his stream.
Actually will.
So, Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib works for the Atlantic Council. He is paid by the Atlantic Council to spread pro-Israel talking points and preface them with, as a Palestinian. You can see him listed on the website of the Atlantic Council here. Resident Senior Fellow of the Atlantic Council. Great. So, what is the Atlantic Council? Well, it is a Pentagon and US government-funded think tank that is also heavily funded by the American arms industry. Don't take my word for that, I'll show you. The Atlantic Council is the #1 think tank recipient of funding from Pentagon contractors, receiving $10 million in the period from 2019 to 2023. The Atlantic Council came in fourth on the list of think tanks that received the most funding from the US government, with $8 million from 2019 to 2023. Notable donors to the Atlantic Council include the Charles Koch Foundation, Amazon, and Verizon. Other notable donors include the Lockheed Martin Corporation, Raytheon Technologies. So the Atlantic Council is just a US government propaganda cutout. It is essentially an arm of the US government that is made to look like an independent organization that is in its majority funded by the US government and the Pentagon and weapons contractors, along with American government allies like the United Arab Emirates. So this is an organization, to be clear, that is just an arm of the American government in everything but name, in everything but official, like on paper record. That is who Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib is employed by, and that is who...
I think it might have been the part of their audience that also imported from Diddy G's community that called CPS. They love lolcows, and I think they found a new toy to play with. Oh, 100%. Yeah, no. Like, Ethan Klein is Diddy G's most successful lolcalization in history. He's tried super hard to do it to a bunch of, like, normal left-wingers, but he's failed. He failed every single time with like, except for people like Lonerbox and Hutch. They're kind of lolcows. But for the most part, everybody who, you know, was like actually left wing, he failed. He tried and failed. But Ethan Klein is his most successful lolcow by far. And honestly, it is funny.
When
You're assuming his pronouns. He hasn't clarified.
No, when you use neutral. Sorry. When you use
no, it's annoying.
But you were also a giant shitbag, so I feel like you need to make some amends too. Like, you can't just be like, "Oh, I'm trans now. Everyone be nice to me." It's like you were a fucking giant piece of shit to trans people, to gay people, to everybody on the internet. They were just a total fucking dickhead his whole life.
I don't want
so
to
like,
jump to conclusions.
bro needs to come to God a little more. You know what I mean? Like he's got.
Ugh. Again, Ethan Klein loves watching that. Loves watching lolcow content. I consider people who like lolcow content for it to be one of the biggest red flags of a person overall. If you enjoy watching like people with various mental illnesses or vulnerabilities be exploited by people, you're fucking, that is, honestly, you are a disgusting rat. Fuck. Like, it is weird and uncomfortable to want to consume that as your content. Like, it is, you should be on a list. You should be honestly arrested.
He's got some amends to make. I you know, it's not like all of a sudden he's a great, or sorry, where did Bobby say the pronouns is they? Because it seems like they's referring to themselves as a man here.
Usually neutral pronouns they them when someone
somebody's non-binary. That's it's fair to assume. But
well,
I guess we're not.
I mean, he's. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say he. He's referring to himself as a man in this tweet, and
it might be that they go by everything.
I mean, if he's not.
What? Where does he what?
Specifically said like my pronouns are they them. I don't think it's that big of a deal, is it? To be like I have to call him they them.
Aren't you doing that with Ethan? It's obvious he's special. No. Ethan Klein is a multimillionaire who lives in, you know, Beverly fucking Hills. All right? Like, he's not a vulnerable, broke, autistic person. Well, you know, I don't know his mental health diagnoses, but he's not vulnerable. He's the one who's trying to cause damage to people and harm people.
No, it's possible that it's not a big deal.
It's the safest and probably the most.
I feel totally comfortable calling him until he says otherwise. You guys are so dumb and pathetic in the chat. Literally wait till he comes out and says like, you can call me he. Like literally wait till he says my pronouns he. You stupid fucking woke fucks. I'm being respectful.
No, it doesn't need to be more than it is.
Why are you assuming his pronouns?
Well, it's not when
you're assuming his pronouns. He hasn't clarified.
No, when you use neutral. Sorry, when you use
no, it's annoying because people come.
The most
by the way, you people in the chat who are like, "Oh, Ethan fucking is L being like transphobic." It's like you are presuming his pronouns. And by the way, why are you being so militant about it? How does that help anybody? I'm obviously being respectful, and I'm waiting for him to clarify. Like you guys are fucking wrong. And if you ever want other people outside of your bubble to ever be respectful and take like trans people and non-binary people seriously, you have to fucking stop being so pathetically ridiculous when people
what a narcissistic tantrum, dude. If he was just like, we'll use they, them, and then moved on. Instead, he has this narcissistic tantrum. Because this is all part of his like, my God, he looks terrible. Holy shit, what's going on with his forehead skin? What are these wrinkles here? He looks like the guy from Men in Black wearing like the insect wearing a human suit. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is going on here? He's like weird ass, just like, what the fuck is going, like, what is this? He needs sugar water stat.
Trying in good faith to make an effort and be respectful. Like you guys are fucking wrong.
Guys, he's gonna call me fat. He's gonna be like, Mike from PA, he's obese. Mike from PA is obese. It's like, what? By the way, he legitimately did look better obese. He did look better when he was obese. That is true. Women, you know, that's the thing about like looks is I find that men who comment about other men's looks the most are the ones who have the least ability to attract women. I feel like if you don't think that women like a little pot belly, you don't understand heterosexual women. It's just like you are not having any relationships. Women like personality. Women like men who, you know, every woman is different for what they expect and what they want. You know, if somebody's really superficial, then yeah, okay, they're gonna, you know, want somebody who is super traditionally attractive. But every single time we go through this, it's like, what's his name? The comedian guy who worked on SNL who dated a bunch of models. What's his fucking name? I forgot. Pete Davidson. Yeah. Remember when Pete Davidson was like being, you know, was the center of attention among men because he was dating a bunch of hot supermodels and all these guys were flipping out. And it's like, he's a silly little guy. That's what's attracting women. Good vibes, being funny. And it's like, I don't know, man. Ethan, I think when you were pleasantly plump and fun to be around, women liked you more than they did when they saw 2 wrinkles in your neck skin because you lost so much weight from Ozempic and you didn't, like, you know, you didn't properly watch your protein.
Ethan Klein chooses to feature on his podcast. Ethan Klein's like, you know what? They keep saying I'm not pro-Palestine. I never do anything pro-Palestine.
Ethan, when he was happy and smiling.
So they're giving some kind of demonstration.
Like, look, I've never had man titties like this in my life. I've never had swinging C's like Ethan Klein here is in this video. But look how funny he looks. Look how jolly he looks. Look how everybody's legitimately smiling.
Gather around, everybody, for our fire safety demonstration.
Hundreds watch a fire safety exhibition.
Oh, wow. We've even got, like, the narration and shit. Gather around, get close.
Like, look how happy they used to be before they started defending this genocide 24/7. Like, legitimately, Gila looks like a different person. And you know what? No matter what I say, it's never going to get through to them, which is what makes this so fun. Ozempic makes you miserable. You're literally nauseous all the time. I've heard of people that have managed to handle it quite well and not, you know, obviously it took some getting used to, but they really appreciated that it helped them control their appetite. Like, I feel like Ozempic, when it goes to people that really do need it, is a very effective medicine and may even be miraculous. I don't want to shame people for getting that. Like, if you've been struggling with your weight and with appetite and diet for a long time, I think you should feel no shame whatsoever in, like, using Ozempic. But make sure that you know, pay attention to side effects. Make sure that you are constantly, you know, vigilant about your protein intake. I understand that you should also exercise when you're on it. So there's no shame in it. I'm not shaming people for it. What I am saying, though, is he's legitimately a miserable loser now. My sister was on it for diabetes. A big struggle the first few months with feeling sick. Okay, yeah. Ozempic personality is a side effect? Really? Is this actually real, or are we just getting AI hallucinations? The term Ozempic, this is what it's citing. The term Ozempic personality refers to the idea that people who take Ozempic might experience changes to their mood or behavior. More irritable, less patient, or emotionally flat. These shifts might be related to the changes in your eating habits, mood regulation, or how your brain responds to the drug. Okay, so this is just like AI slop, basically. They're just making it up. All right, cool.
Fine. I never do fundraisers for Palestine. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invite a token Palestinian who is an employee of a fucking US government-funded think tank, of a Pentagon-funded think tank, of a weapons contractor-funded think tank. You know, all those people currently doing genocide in Gaza, all of them pro-Israel. I'm going to bring him on to show that I'm actually pro-Palestinian. I'm going to bring this guy on who is just a straight-up Zionist, and I'm going to tokenize him, as I have denounced others for supposedly doing in the past with Israelis and Jews. Now, it's actually even worse than that, because in this H3 podcast episode, Ethan actually solicits donations to Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib's Atlantic Council. And
can I just say that, like, AI... I don't know how to put, you know, Alyssa's here and there's been other journalists in the chat this morning. I don't know how they feel, but I have to say that I really, really don't want to be an AI Luddite. Like, I know it's very popular on the left to just be an AI Luddite because it is garbage for the most part. But I have to say that it is literally making people more dumb. Because in the past, when people didn't know anything, they didn't know anything. And so they couldn't come up with any kind of slop argument because they just literally knew nothing. But now people are confidently wrong and they run to AI, and the capitalist AIs are programmed to be obsequious. If you don't know what that means, chat, it means they just go along with whatever premise you are advancing. They basically are your like little buddy. They're your partisan. They just agree with you. They don't try to come to like an objective third-party conclusion. They are obsequious. And so you get idiots running to AI for talking points and then thinking the AI is like some sort of objective arbiter of reality, when in reality it is the opposite, which is it's serving you to try to get you to keep using it. And I don't know why they're programmed like that, which is one of the main things I really pushes me away from learning more about AI, is I hate that. I don't want obsequious AI. I want AI that at least tries to derive information that is objective and accurate and comes from high quality sources, which the AI doesn't seem to be able to do. And so people are just becoming more confident with their dumbass bullshit. And I've noticed this recently because I was talking about Medicare for all. I went into somebody's replies because they were talking about how like leftists are so unreasonable about Medicare for all. We should do stuff that's more incremental changes that'll be easier to get, like one of those arguments. And I said that, you know, Medicare for all would save 68,000 lives per year and over $500 billion in savings year in, year out. So we're saving tens of thousands of lives and hundreds of billions of dollars. That seems like something we should advocate for, right? Like if we could do something that'll save hundreds of billions of dollars a year and save tens of thousands of lives, we should probably just argue for that instead of like being scared, right? And somebody was like, you're just making those things up. You're making it up. And I was like, okay, why do you think I'm making it up? How do you have the confidence to reply to me that it's made up? Like, why do you think it's made up? Where do you think I got that info? And they said, your ass. And what was very interesting with that is, if you Google that stuff, if you're just like 68,000 lives saved, Medicare for all, it's there right there. Even the AI gets it. Researchers at Yale University have estimated that Medicare for all would save 68,000 lives a year. USSenate.gov. Fact check. Medicare for all would save U.S. trillions. In a previous study, Galvani and her colleagues found that single-payer universal healthcare would save 68,000 lives at $450 billion per year. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's very easy to find. But the person would rather just jump into the replies, accuse me of lying, accuse me of pulling it out of my ass, get very confrontational with me, instead of doing one fucking search, right? Just one search to say, hey, I've never heard this fact. This is really compelling. This is really compelling. I've never heard something like this before. Is he making this up? And that's where I was like, God damn, dude. How do you even deal with people like this? Like, what do you even do? Like, if somebody says some sort of really compelling argument and I've never heard about it, before I reply, you're an idiot or you're an asshole pulling it out of your ass, like, why not just instead of take the same amount of characters and punch them into a search engine at least and look and see if there's any support for what I'm saying? When I put together my 30 polls showing a ceasefire would help Kamala, liberals claimed all those polls were AI. Like, that's what's happening is people are just becoming more loudly, angrily stupid. The thing about Ozempic is not bullshit. It's being studied. Interesting. I don't know that it's true, though. You know what I mean? Daily Wire is passing off AI video as real. Did you see this slop tuber making an AI game in which he saves his daughter from gay groomers? Like, she still hasn't posted? All right, let's go back to making fun of Ethan Klein so we can move on to real news.
Calls it donate to Palestine. So he tries to fool people into believing that you are donating to Palestine by donating to this think tank, this literal US government-funded think tank. Here is the segment you can see. Donate to Palestine is the name of this segment.
Work at the Atlantic Council.
No, that video was completely fake, chat. If you can't figure out why it's fake, It's probably because you're not thinking very hard. One of the things that causes me a lot of distress is I'm not going to attack you and call you inferior, because I don't think that's very helpful, but I will describe to you how I think about the world. All right. And I want you to try to copy this model and going forward. And so whenever you come across information, you should be thinking of a few things right off the bat. What is the source of this information? What is the credibility of this source? And what is the argument that is being presented? All right. And is this person a biased source? It doesn't mean it's wrong. It just immediately upon seeing a piece of information, you should want to know the source of the information, the interests of the source, and so you could be skeptical immediately upon getting that information, right? And then you need to say, what is the chain of custody of this information? How do we know, like, who are we depending upon? Who are we trusting with this information? Where did it come from? How was it given to us? Who is, and then who is kind of supporting it? Who is saying that it is real? Who is giving it verisimilitude? Who is giving it, not verisimilitude, giving it validation? And so you're looking at information, you look at the source, and you look at their biases, you look at who is supporting it and saying it's real. And then you come to the information itself and you examine it and see, does this make sense with things that I already feel pretty confident about? Does this line up with my understanding and the prior information that I know is vetted coming from the past, right? When you get a piece of information, you don't just absorb that information face value and accept it as real. You should examine it critically. Does that mean stuff you disagree with is always wrong? No. In fact, when things line up exactly with what you already believe, and it's a little too convenient, you should also be skeptical. Just if something lines up with exactly what you want to be true, it might be fake. And you should also be skeptical and go through what I said before. All right. So if it comes from a source that is reliable, if it is vetted, if there are credible sources that are verifying and confirming it, if the chain of custody of the information seems to be legitimate, then you could accept that as having a higher probability of being true, right? And also there's just your ability to evaluate information right off the bat. And if you look at that video, it doesn't look like a real video. It doesn't look like a real video, okay? Why doesn't it look like a real video? Well, this is not what desperate, hungry people look like, right? Just off the bat, you know, people crowding into pens are not cheering and, you know, after 3 months of starvation, cheering and saying thank you to the Musk military contractor. All right. Like this is ridiculous. Notice the way the crowd is. The crowd is very uniform. There's nothing that really draws your attention to the crowd. The crowd is very uniform. It looks like a procedurally generated crowd. Everybody is uniformly packed. Like there's all sorts of things that you should look at that should draw your attention, right? We have weird shadows. Everybody's facing the camera. The fence is mixed into the crowd. Yeah, all sorts of weird shit that makes it look like it's AI generated. Also, what is this pen for? It doesn't even make sense. Why is there a dune that's right here? Like, it doesn't make sense. Now, I draw this. I took the time to explain all of this. What are you linking me? What is this?
Gaza is the 2025 version of a concentration camp. Tens of thousands starved for 86 days. Then came aid, a chaotic, humiliating spectacle wrapped in barbed wire and guarded by American mercs. Even they fled when desperation breached the fence.
Now, whenever you see videos posted and you're like, wait a minute, your first reaction is, what is going on here?
This is also part of the reason why you can't have sterile zones where aid distribution is happening in one area.
Figured out this was fake very quickly. I'm sure Hassan figured out it was fake very quickly. To me, I find that to be very unlikely to be real. And even if it's not, even if you get tricked by AI, we all get tricked by fake news once in a while. It happens to us all. It happens to us all. Maybe I'm being excessively skeptical, but it appears to be fake to me.
I am a resident senior fellow, but also I run Realign for Palestine through the Atlantic Council, and I have a we have like our own standalone website, realignforpalestine.org. There is a donate button.
Okay, so let's check out Realign for Palestine, which was just solicited for donations on the H3 podcast and the Donate for Palestine label. Join the movement, engage with us. They solicit donations on their website. Donate to the movement. Now, it's interesting where this actually goes, because this is a donation to the Atlantic Council. You know, there's nothing here about donating to a charity or anything. This is just...
I briefly fell for the China aid Gaza fake news. When somebody posted that to me, my first reaction was no way. And the reason why my reaction was no way is because Israel is maintaining a military blockade over the Gaza Strip. And so an aid plane flying into Gaza will get shot down by the Israeli military. And there is no way, based on my understanding of geopolitics, that China is just going to, with no warning, fly in aid planes directly into the blockade and siege. So there's just no fucking way they would do that. And the reason why is because they don't want to have they don't want to suffer casualties and death of their military. That would be humiliating, right? And they're not willing to risk conflict with Israel and the United States over Gaza. That's the problem with China's foreign policy right now. China is not willing to do what the USSR would have been willing to do. China is trying to avoid being isolated by the international system. They're trying to avoid being sanctioned like the USSR, and they were for decades. So they are being cowardly on this position. They say the right things. They support international law. They condemn Israel, but they're not going to put their necks out for Gaza. That's just sad, but true. The video is real. No, it's not. These are pictures of a pen. It doesn't necessarily make the video of cheering of this weird shit real. There are viral but false claims that this video is fake. The video is real and filmed by the main entrance to the site, which is visible in satellite, according to Miss senior journalist at BBC Verify. Isn't this as who shot the video? I don't know if I trust this. I don't know if I trust this. It's hard to say. The soldier is doing hard hands to give the appearance they are cheering, when in reality they're making noise because they're trapped behind a fence starving. They're not going to boo like they're at a game. I think it's here. This is the reality. Whatever you have news like this is why being skeptical is important. This is why being skeptical is important. The answer is we don't know. We don't know. To me, it doesn't look real, but it looks like an altered video. We don't know it's fair, but you started this conversation implying that anyone who thought it could be real were stupid and didn't know how to properly observe the world. I'm saying the process that I mean, maybe I'm wrong. It's been known to happen once or twice. I'm going to say I'm going to wait until I see more video that is unaltered.
Money to the Atlantic Council, because Realign for Palestine is just the Atlantic Council. It's an outcropping of the Atlantic Council, as you can see listed on their website right here. So Ethan Klein, instead of directing donations to like the UNRWA or the PCRF or something like that, he directs donations to a fucking US government outcrop think tank in the name of supposedly donating to Palestine. Not a single fucking dollar from this is going to Palestine. It's going...
I feel like there is enough question in my mind about whether it's fake or not, or real or not, that I can't say. And that is a very unsatisfying answer, but I'm not going to swing back and forth because I don't feel like I have seen a source that is legitimate.
Going to the Atlantic Council.
Triggering Mike's remarks about being right or wrong? No, if I was narcissistic about it, I would just be like, no, it's definitely wrong.
Going to Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib, because this is Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib's personal project. What this is the Atlantic Council with Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib at the helm of this
reality
project.
Is, I think the thing that is making me more skeptical the video is unaltered, which is what I should have said, is, hold on, let's go back to it, is the audio sounds off.
That's what sounds off. They needed something that made it look like they had more than just one pro-Israel Palestinian who was paid off to do Zionist propaganda. So they created this website and they call it a movement. You know, engage with us. They use plurals. They act like this is more than just one person. This is a strategy that is often used by like wrecker organizations, by infiltrators to try and
I don't understand how 1,000 people light up from food like that is a good. It's
make it seem like they are the real movement and you can join them in lieu of the other movement. But what this actually is just fucking Ahmed.
This thread is more compelling. I've seen this pen. What makes me think it might be real is I feel like this. I've seen this thread, this photo, reliable sources, and when you look at it, when you look at the pen, it could line up because you see these polls. So I feel like the video might be real, but the audio is altered. That's what it kind of feels like to me. It could be. And it looks like from other photos that there was a line of dunes. So that in and of itself. I mean, they got the Oakley symbol right on the gloves. I think I recognize those gloves. The Ray-Ban on the sunglasses or is clear. AI usually fails to make stuff like that. I mean, this is the thing. It might be real. It might be real. I might have been wrong. Again, the audio sounds off to me, but again, it could be real. This is the thing. With any kind of Twitter, either way, you should not just go off of the single post of somebody, especially if you can't verify it. And we all occasionally, it's like the JDAM moment with Hassan. It probably wasn't a JDAM, but he's heard JDAM bombs before. And so he said JDAM when it probably wasn't a JDAM. It was probably a rocket.
It's all Ahmed. It's one person who is being made to look like a whole organization. But like you go to any of their social media pages, like their Twitter, everything on here that claims to be from a Palestinian is just from fucking Ahmed. It's literally just like a personal vanity page. It's made to look like it's not just him. You know, first post that we see, it's just Ahmed. It's Ahmed giving a talk. At a recent event, Ahmed was there. You know, video by Ahmed.
I can't decide this is also part of what's dangerous about AI, right? Because we can't trust video anymore. Right? Like, this has always been a problem with the ability to do CGI, the ability to analyze, video in the past. There was always a problem of altered video, but now it's so much easier to do than ever before. And this post came from the Daily Wire, and somebody else claimed that it was fake because of the source, and I was more likely to believe that it was fake because the source was only the Daily Wire. So that shows you my bias. I consider the Daily Wire to not be a reliable source of journalism. So whenever the Daily Wire is pushing something, my first reaction is, oh, that's probably not true or fake. Doesn't mean that it's true, though. It doesn't mean that it's fake. And that could be a blind spot. Yeah, this is the stuff that is more compelling. But it's, again, you have this long pen, right? Hamid. Fucked up, man.
It's an organization that is just one person made to masquerade as like a legitimate pro-Palestinian organization, as an initiative of the US government funded and the weapons industry funded, the people who are currently genociding Gaza in this moment, to try and mislead people into believing that this is like the true pro-Palestine movement, when it's literally one fucking, I'd call him a capo, but he's worse than a capo. Because capos were still concentration camp inmates. They betrayed their brothers and their sisters and everyone else in a quest to like try to avoid the shitty situation that they were in. This guy, he's not made to do this. He's doing this purely out of greed. He's not going to be killed if he doesn't do this like the capos would be. So he's worse than a capo.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do amateur audio visual analysis more than a gut, because I'm not an expert on audio visual analysis and I don't need to pretend to be. Right? Sometimes you make an error and you're just like, okay, I'm now uncertain enough about the veracity of this. Either way, the main point is what we should be focusing on, which is the distribution of aid by American military contractors in Israel failed. That's what we know for a fact. This specific video, whether it is altered, whether it is completely original, and is actually immaterial. And we're getting lost in the sauce. We're actually getting lost in the sauce. And the only thing I could do is say, you know what? Enough support has been provided for the video possibly being real that I retract the idea that it's definitely fake. I'm not sure if it's fake or not. I'm not even sure if the audio is fake or not. There's enough doubt in my mind about the video and the quality of it that I can't for sure confirm it's real and unaltered. But that being said, enough doubt has been given to me that it could be substantively real. So there's really nothing more for me to say than that. You know, when you get something and you're like, huh, okay, maybe my first read of this is wrong. It is what it is. I'm going to immediately, it feels bad, you know, to look at something and go, huh, this doesn't seem real. And then someone says, no, it actually is real. And you're like, wait a minute, really?
This entire website, violence is immoral, unethical, and ineffective, but he never blames Israel for it. This is just radical pragmatism. Calls for more violence must be rejected. Violence only fosters fear, resentment, and retribution. He's clearly talking about Palestinians there, right? There's no mention of the Israeli genocide currently being conducted. 2 states for 2 people. October 7th proved the futility of violent armed resistance. You know what the better thing to do is? Lay down and let the Israelis kill you. Realign from black and white narratives to multiple truths. There can't be multiple truths. Only one thing can be true. If there's a conflict between those two, then only one thing can be true. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Palestinians and Israelis each have legitimate grievances. The Palestinian grievances is that they're genociding us. The Israeli grievance is that they're resisting our genocide. Holy shit. Realign from hateful words to helpful actions. We need to ditch slogans like from the river to the sea. And who's we? It's Ahmed Fuad al-Khatib. We. You see what I mean with them framing one pro-Israel guy as if he's like an entire movement to try and mislead people? That's what this is. It's obvious why this appeals so much to Ethan Klein. So Ethan Klein solicited fucking donations for the fucking Atlantic Council. He solicited donations for the Atlantic Council, pro-US, pro-Israel think tank, and is misleading people into thinking that this is a donation for Palestinians, for Palestine, to Palestine. This is literally a donation into the pockets of Ahmed Fuad al-Khatib and the Atlantic Council. They already receive $20 million in funding from the arms industry and from the US government. Why do they need more money from you? This is honestly fucking disgusting. Ahmed Fuad al-Khatib, by the way, is someone who has called for the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. If you want to know how much of a pro-Israel shill he is, then, I mean, that is more than enough. Ahmed Fuad al-Khatib attempting to legitimize Israel's plan of genocide and ethnic cleansing in Gaza. He says, Gaza is the only war in modern history in which people insist on having a civilian population remain trapped in a war zone, and any attempt to get them out of harm's way is met with condemnation, all while refusing to call out the evil terror organization that started the war. So you can see here clearly, Israel has openly declared for months now that it is planning to physically eliminate or expel all Palestinians from Gaza, and that they will not be allowed to return. And they are currently carrying this out. They are massacring people, and they are attempting to force them out or kill them all. And his reaction to that is not to condemn that. It is to say, you know who's to blame for this? People who are pointing out the fact that when Israel ethnically cleanses people, they never let them come back, and that Israel is openly saying that they're not going to let them come back after they ethnically cleanse them. What he's saying is just, what are these weirdos who insist that instead of just allowing these people to leave this war zone, they stay and Israel ceases massacring them? What is with those fucking crazy fuckers, right? His entire thing is to try to make Israel's actions look rational, and to try and make those who oppose them or who blame Israel for them look insane. That's his strategy. Basically, he says as a Palestinian, and then he spouts like Netanyahu government propaganda. That is what this guy does, and this is the guy who Ethan
I think there was an original video they used AI to make look good. It sounded like the crowd was happy and cheering. The crowd could have even held up guard could have held up the heart sign in the real video, but only for the purpose of making propaganda. I have no, bro, you're just making shit up. This is what you have to avoid doing. This is my entire point. You need to avoid doing that. You need to avoid doing that. You know, I think the answer is we have no fucking idea on this video. We have no fucking idea on this video.
Decided to invite to his fucking podcast. I just want to note as well, by the way, that he hilariously, like this Ahmed Fuad al-Khatib guy, I challenged him to a debate live months ago. He literally blocked me immediately on everything. Like, he even went and found my other platforms and blocked me there before I could challenge him to a debate preemptively. Here is Ahmed Fuad al-Khatib, who, to be clear, never made any attempt to respond to the previous video that I made on him, trying to frame himself as a victim of harassment, because the fact that he is a paid propagandist for a pro-Israel US government outcropping organization was revealed. Rather than attempt to refute the facts, this is what he says.
Like, I don't know Mr. Piker. I know of him through you explicitly. I am disappointed recently by the fact that he hosted.
This guy literally looks like a rat, by the way. Holy shit. I could not imagine a better look for a traitor. He's 35, if you can believe that. I cannot believe that.
A gentleman by the name of the Bad Empanada.
Oh, you know about him?
The Bad Empanada has incited so heavily against me. Some of the worst
Notice how there's no
threats
evidence
that I have received against my life came from people directly affiliated.
Do you know how often?
Just want to note that this guy's entire family was literally massacred by Israel. Israel killed his entire family. Literally, about 40 of them were directly targeted by the Israeli state and killed in their home. The survivors were then targeted in a refugee camp and they were killed. This guy has never denounced the Israeli state for that. He has denounced me, though. He has denounced me for calling him out for receiving money from the US government and from a pro-Israel think tank to do pro-Israel propaganda. This guy literally would sell his own child if it got him money. He sells out not just his own people, he sells out his own fucking family. He will say and do anything they want from him for whatever it is that they pay him.
That is so depressing, dude. That is so fucking depressing, dude.
Can I hear that?
Yeah.
And he did a whole hit piece on me.
A whole hit piece. What about it is incorrect? You know, I challenged him through a debate in which he was free to hop on stream and explain to me what I got wrong. He did not. So just so that we know this, the felony charity scammer Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib was outed in my video called The Palestinian Token Industry. I greatly encourage you to go and check it out. He is covered in part 3 of this video, and at no point does Ahmed ever actually debunk a thing that I have to say about him. At no point did he ever accept my offer to come on stream and attempt to explain what I got wrong about him. Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib is a paid pro-Israel propagandist who advocates for the genocide of the Palestinian people. That is who he is.
Dedicated so much of his energy to me, and I was like, dude, just let it go, let it be. There was a hit piece.
It's a hit piece. It's a hit piece. I can't explain how and why. I can't explain what's wrong.
This is actually something that a lot of I've noticed this is something that comes directly from the Destiny orbit, and I hate to name him, but they have the very similar ways of arguing, which is like they offer you conclusions, not evidence. Right? They offer you conclusions and not evidence. So they'll be like, so-and-so is stupid. So-and-so is bad for the movement. So-and-so is this. So-and-so is this. This is a hit piece. This is a puff piece. Right? They're conclusory. If you write just conclusions, then what you're saying can be dismissed. Right? So this being a hit piece is a conclusion. You have to establish that it's a hit piece by offering evidence, an argument. And I think a lot of the debate perverts have just started to advance conclusions and then posture for their audience. And then they jump to the insulting people phase, which is the fun part, right? Which is like, you're a dumb piece of shit. You're a fucking loser. You're an idiot. You're cringe. This is why you suck. You're a cuck, etc. There's never a part where they're like, okay, let's establish that you're wrong. Let's establish why this doesn't work. It's just, you're a terror supporter. Gotcha. There's no actual argument. There's no advancing of a point
about it. It's just a hit piece. It's just a hit piece. That's how you know that you're right. When they can never try to actually refute you, that's how you know when you're right.
Basically, a leftist rag that's like a Russian, Iranian, North Korean propaganda outlet that claims
what?
Israel is paying me $30 million to promote genocide.
Here's what I actually said. You notice how he has to lie about what he's actually said because he cannot refute it. He is afraid to be confronted on this. If he was confronted on this, his reputation would be fucking destroyed. He's basically used as a tool by the Atlantic Council to mislead people into advocating for liberal Zionism instead of pro-Palestine anything. And as a part of this, he needs to be specifically insulated from any challenge to his position. So he needs to make shit up, and he needs to specifically avoid what people actually said about him, because otherwise the jig would be up. And now, wouldn't you know it, he's a senior resident fellow for the Atlantic Council, a pro-US government and pro-Israel think tank.
The Atlantic Council is basically government work. They're directly tapped for senior positions in the government. It's basically a place for people that are in the hyper elite to stand and collect paychecks while they wait to get back into the government. It is part of the foreign policy blob. They completely align 100% with whatever the government is doing.
From them, he is undoubtedly earning at least a six-figure salary on top of all the other income that he's generating from this from other sources. So I said he's earning at least a six-figure income from the Atlantic Council, which is just objectively true. And now he's getting paid via donations sent for Palestine to the Atlantic Council. So, yeah, the way that he characterizes that is... he cited a North Korean Russian propaganda which said I'm paid $30 million. No, you're not worth that much. You sold yourself for way fucking less than that, Ahmed. You're a cheap little lapdog. They bought you out for almost nothing in comparison to what you want people to believe.
And of course, you know, Mr. Empanada just, and he called me the final boss of respectability politics.
Absolutely.
And, you know, again, and I'm speaking...
He thinks so much about this, but he can't refute it. Notice, he will not even directly engage with a word that I said, let alone talk to me live, which, to be clear, contact me at any time, Ahmed. You don't get to talk about someone like this and be afraid to fucking confront what they actually have to say about you.
Talking about this not in a personalized sense. I've had way worse guys than Mr.
He literally is. By the way, the first thing that he did, rather than actually respond to anything that I said, was just claim that I was a pedophile. So Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib is a pedophile. Just to be clear, he's a pedophile.
Empanada come out. I've had Al-Qaeda guys straight up, and it's all here threatened to...
It's all here. There's no evidence of this. He just makes shit up. You notice how the victim complex runs deep with the Zionists. And all that he does is identity politics. It's, I'm a Palestinian, I'm spouting Zionist talking points. And because I'm Palestinian... That makes me...
Whoa, Bad Empanada. He's a Palestinian. How dare you criticize him, you white man, you racist. Sorry, Chad. I'm doing a little bit of some of the criticism I got for criticizing AB. Whoa. How dare you criticize the Atlantic Council? There is an Arab man speaking. How dare you? AB is producing this show, by the way.
Correct.
Al-Qaeda guys coming after me to the point where I've had to acquire the means to defend myself.
Oh my fucking God.
This is not a pity party. I'm simply saying...
It's literally what it is. You cannot refute the facts about you, so you play victim.
You know, having
Israeli playbook
and the Bad Empanada, two non-Palestinians sitting up there pontificating about, you know, what is good for the Palestinians and genocide this and genocide that. And
wow, mocking genocide. Now, this is what someone would do if they were really, really not just a Zionist.
Resistance, like the how pompous can one get is that? But Mr. Piker,
if there's never a fucking argument made. This is the hardest part of doing my job. It's just listening to this blather for hours on end. Can you make a fucking point?
He has any interest in actually engaging in this and actually like...
Okay, we're gonna get this guy on with Hassan, and I'm just gonna get in the call.
Engaging in a goodwill conversation.
I would love that. I would love to see him talk to you.
Oh my God, how fucking...
I would love to see him talk to you. So Ethan, this is how Ethan Klein imagines this. It'll go. He'll go, I'm a Palestinian and you aren't, and I think Israel's great. I represent all Palestinians. That's why I work for the Atlantic Council, and you're not. How dare you talk about Palestinians to a Palestinian? How dare you? I think Palestine doesn't exist. I mean, like, that's, wow. Oh my God. And then Ethan would be like, whoa, he got owned. He got fucking owned. Look, this guy yelled at him for saying he knows more than Palestinians. Whoa, checkmate. Like, wow. Oh my God, dude. You got him. Such a good point. Israel's not killing children anymore now. Everybody stop paying attention to the exploded children. You did it.
Dare he say that when he's been afraid of debating me for so long? Anyway, Ahmed, I have a challenge for you. Let's get a demographically representative selection of Palestinians, 100 of them. Let's put them in a room. First, I will go in there. I will explain to them my views on the Palestinian cause, Zionism and all of that. I will be there for an hour. And I guarantee you I will come out not just unscathed, but with new friends. Then after that, you go into that room. You explain honestly your views, the stuff that you say for the Atlantic Council, the stuff that you say here. I am open to this challenge of you at any point, okay? We will see between you and me whose views actually represent the Palestinian people more. And the way that we will do this is by both of us actually directly addressing Palestinians, not just one single token Palestinian like yourself, but a representative sample of the Palestinian population. We can do this at any time, Ahmed, anytime you want, because I 100% guarantee you that if you ever actually say the things that you said in this conversation, that you say in general, to the Atlantic Council and stuff like that, to actual Palestinians, it is not going to go well for you. I think you tried to run away, but honestly, looking at you, I don't think you're very capable of running, Ahmed. So I think that's a situation that you'd probably like to avoid in general. It's just, I'm a Palestinian. Identity politics. How dare you say that I'm wrong as a Palestinian? You're a Zionist. There's a reason why the Zionists can't get traitors like you. They have like maybe 5 of them total, and you're the only one who they're prominently featuring lately at all. You know why that is? Because their cause is so blatantly and obviously wrong, and Palestinians so blatantly hate them for all of the right reasons, that they can't find other guys. All they can find is you. All they can fucking find is like you and like 2 other guys who only post on Twitter and fucking...
Yeah, the reason why this guy does this is because he's not culturally connected to Palestinians at all. I think his dad was Palestinian, but he never really was part of his life. So this guy basically is like half Palestinian, but not connected to Palestine at all. And he uses the fact that he had an absentee Palestinian father to basically justify the genocide of Palestinians. Like, that is absolutely fucking evil.
Mossab Hassan Youssef, like the son of Hamas, who's at this point too extreme to even launder Zionism
is that a different guy? Oh fuck!
And as a Palestinian,
I am off today. Holy shit!
Like, there's literally like 5 of you.
That's John Aziz. Oh no, you're right. It is John Aziz. I am firing on no cylinders today.
Fact of the matter is that if you try to go to Palestine,
you're right. It is John Aziz. I thought it was this guy, but no, you're right. It is John Aziz.
Things
you're
that
right,
you normally say to normal Palestinians, they would fucking hate you. You would get run out, or you would try to run away at least. But yeah, like, what a fucking joke this loser is. Imagine a debate with him. God, he would get called the fuck out and he would just say, as a Palestinian, how dare you say that? Buddy, I will say it to you. I will say it to anyone. As a Palestinian, my pro-Israel talking points are somehow more valid due to my identity. What a fucking joke. So, to recap here is where you can report charity fraud on the FBI website. Online charity fraud. At the Internet Crime Complaint Center, this goes to the FBI. And it is not a false report in the USA to report things that actually happened to law enforcement agents. This is from the Electronic Code of Federal Regulations. A false report is when a person who knowingly gives false information to any law enforcement officer with the purpose to implicate another, or when they report to law enforcement authorities an offense or other incident within that concern knowing that it did not occur, or pretends to furnish such authorities with information relating to an offense or incident when he or she has no information relating to an offense or incident. So, it is not against the law to report something that actually happened. As long as it actually did happen and you genuinely believe that it is a violation of the law, you are not committing any offense by doing so. So, this actually did happen. They did actually say that you are donating to Palestine by sending money to the Atlantic Council. And if you believe that this is a crime, a violation of federal US law against laws regarding charity fraud, you can complain about this at icfree.gov. And you are completely in the clear because it's up to the FBI to decide on whether your complaint is actionable or not, whether they want to pursue it or not. It's not up to fucking Ethan Klein screaming about this being a felony, which, to be clear, it's not a felony. It's a misdemeanor, not a fucking felony. It's a misdemeanor, but this is not even that because you are giving them information about something that factually did happen. It's not up to you to decide whether it is actually a crime or not, or whether they should actually pursue it or not. That's up to them. But you cannot be committing a crime merely by the virtue of reporting something that did actually happen. So yeah, if you believe that it is a crime to say donate to Palestine and send people to a website which just sends money to the fucking pro-US, pro-Israel think tank, the Atlantic Council, which will never be in the hands of a single Gazan Palestinian or anyone in actual Palestine. The only Palestinian it's going to go to is to line the pockets of fucking Ahmed himself. Then you should report that on ic3.gov. Aside from that, he also continued here, by the way, and he went on to recommend a charity aside from his own. So he's trying to draw an equivalence, aside from his own think tank, rather. He's trying to draw an equivalence here between his think tank and the World Food Program. He's trying to like put them together as if they're like equal charities that you should you can choose to donate to one or the other if you want to help Palestinians.
So I work at the Atlantic Council, where I am a resident senior fellow. But
wait, Hamas is reporting it reached a ceasefire with Witkoff? Hamas affirms that it is making great efforts to stop the brutal war on the Gaza Strip, the latest of which was reaching an agreement with the U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff on the general framework that achieves a permanent ceasefire, a complete withdrawal of occupation forces from the Gaza Strip. Okay, I see what's happening. This is Hamas trying to get the idea that they're not blocking the ceasefire out into the public. This is the same thing that's been happening for a year. Basically, American negotiators come to an agreement with Hamas, and then they take it to Israel. Israel says no, and then the American negotiators turn around and lie and say that it was Hamas that broke the deal. So until we could see something coming from the American government saying there's a ceasefire deal, unfortunately there isn't.
But also I run Realign for Palestine through the Atlantic Council, and I have a we have like our own standalone website, realignforpalestine.org. There is a donate button, and so like you're certainly folks can donate there, but also
that pitch, which is donating to the Atlantic Council, is marked as donate to Palestine. It's not donating to Palestine. That's charity fraud.
I would encourage folks to consider the World Food Program has a...
So he's recommending donations to the World Food Program. Now, the World Food Program does not need donations. This is just an example of how incredibly dishonest this is. The reason why he's specifically choosing the World Food Program is because he thinks the UNRWA, which is the actual UN agency that directly helps Palestinian refugees, even outside of Gaza, he thinks they're Hamas. That's the IDF narrative, that they are Hamas. The World Food Program does not have a lack of food. On their own website, they note this. They don't need donations. They have plenty of food. The World Food Program says they have enough food to feed 1 million people for up to 4 months. It is positioned at aid corridors and ready to be brought into Gaza by the World Food Program as soon as borders reopen. The issue is that Israel is blockading food from entering Gaza. They have enough food for 4 months. They don't need your donations to buy more food. What they need is the Israelis who this guy is shilling for to stop attempting to induce an artificial famine in Gaza by blockading food from entering it. Just a great example of how this guy attempts to reframe a problem, which is Israel intentionally inducing a famine in Gaza as a means of genocide and ethnic cleansing, and tries to frame it as like, we don't know who's doing this. What we need here is more donations. Fucking disgusting. This guy and people like him, their entire MO is to try and frame the actions of the Israeli state as somehow like the blame of like a force of nature, if not the Palestinians themselves. You know what the problem is in Gaza? Israel is genociding Gaza. Israel is ethnic cleansing Gaza.
Israel has declared the ceasefire proposal accepted by Hamas is unacceptable. Damn. Well, there you go.
Openly announced this. Netanyahu said just 2 weeks ago that the forced expulsion of Palestinians from Gaza is inevitable, and he said to his parliamentary committee that the army is intentionally destroying more and more homes in order to force people to leave, and he said that Israel will control all of Gaza. And this guy has nothing to say about that. What he has things to say about is about Hassan Piker and Bad Empanada. He's outright, 5 days after Netanyahu said that, he was on fucking Twitter saying like, why are people against this? Why are people against Netanyahu's ethnic cleansing plan? It's not an ethnic cleansing plan. He's just trying to get them out of harm's way, out of a war zone. This is the person who...
If Israel wanted to get them out of harm's way, they could allow them into Israel. Allow the civilians to filter past, like, allow them into Israel. Oh, wait. They don't want to do that. Ah, okay.
Klein decided to bring onto his podcast, after almost years of this point of doing Zionist propaganda, Ethan Klein, who has claimed to be a stalwart defender of the Palestinian people. His way, centering Palestinians, of finally advocating for the Palestinians who he has claimed before are currently facing a genocide and who he claims to support, is to invite the one Palestinian token who he could find and get that guy to frame the genocide being carried out by Israel against Gaza as the fault of the Palestinians in Gaza themselves. And Israel is blameless in it. Welcome to, the staunch defender of the Palestinian people, Ethan Klein. I'll show you the clip of him saying that. Here is Ethan Klein claiming that he's a stalwart supporter of the Palestinian people, which is weird given that he hasn't fundraised for them at all until now, where he's fundraising for the fucking Atlantic Council, a pro-Israel think tank funded by the US government, and he has never invited like an actual pro-Palestinian onto his show to just let them speak. Instead, he invites the one pro-Israel Palestinian that he could find to do so.
The problem wasn't that he was pro-Palestinian, because I share a lot of those views, and I've been a stalwart supporter of the Palestinian cause for many years.
Yeah, dude, yeah. Charity fraud. Federal criminal. Felony committer. What more is there to say about these people?
Olivia, did you bring Adderall?
Fucking Arabs. You, my friend, are a coward, and I am the fucking legend that responded to it live with zero hesitation. Communism.
I already saw this, chat. I saw this 2 days ago, and I replied, I love this shit. So good. New Gatsu vid? Okay, let's have some fun today, chat. We need to have some fun today. Did I subscribe to Gatsu yet? Oh, North Korea is broken? The Nazis did love meth, to be fair.
Motherfuckers be like, oh man, North Korea is so dystopian. Just look at them. This is so weird.
I know that America stands with Israel. I know that you stand with Israel.
North Korea is extremely misunderstood. They have sacrificed their citizens' freedoms and a lot of money, all for aura. Over 80% of North Korea was destroyed in the Korean War, and over 1 million civilians were killed after the US started bombing them. Tamerlane did the same thing to Georgia 600 years ago, and when I was in Uzbekistan, I nearly pissed on his grave. I just didn't want to be thrown in an Uzbek jail for crimes committed 600 years ago. And Georgians are still mad, including me, about shit that happened 600 years ago. Now, you can only imagine how North Koreans feel about the US doing the same thing to them, which is how you get their leadership with their attitudes. We can't really talk about North Korea without conflict of nations, which is exactly why they're sponsoring this video. Conflict of Nations is a free online PvP military strategy game that is based on a World War III scenario. So around 2 years from now, you can lead a real country like I led Greece, and upon Albania invading me, I unleashed my Greek death rage and took their province. You can build your army up with tanks, jets, and submarines, where you can choose your alliances and your enemies by declaring war on them. And if you want to be more lore accurate, you can even get your friends to play this with you and see which one succeeds more. It's available on all platforms, PC, mobile, literally anything. You can probably play this on that North Korean phone, and I suggest you click the link in the description to try it out, because you'll get a starter pack containing 13,000 gold and 1 month of a premium account with a value of $15, and the offer is valid for the next 30 days. However, it is still genuinely impressive that they managed to build their country back up after that massive destruction.
The slop phone games. Does anyone play that shit? Does anyone play that shit? I have never wanted to play a slop mobile game, like, in my entire life. Who plays this shit? They make so much fucking money, but how? There are Steam Decks, there are Switches, there are PC games, there are consoles. Why are you playing shit games? Play a good game. I don't get it.
Even though they were being given money from the USSR and China, they still managed to bounce back from 80% of their country being turned into dust in a couple years. To the point where up until the 70s, North Korea was richer than South Korea. So for like 20 years after the war, they were flexing over the border. This context helps you understand why they became isolated and so anti-capitalist. Now that they're isolated, they've had to find more and more ways to make money somehow, since everyone refuses to trade with them. So let's play a fucked up game of...
Before his crash out, Ethan Klein got addicted to a mobile slip game and was shilling for them on his show. What the hell is a mobile slip game? You mean slop? Did you typo? Okay, that makes sense. They're next to each other. Mobile slop game. Okay, I just read your thing. Yeah, Ethan Klein seems to be the type of guy to get addicted to like FanDuel and mobile slop games. Like Ethan Klein is probably like, they probably are, honest to God, he might be one of the top mobile top whales to get. It's like with poker. Why do you think all the poker streams try to get Ethan Klein to play? You know what I mean? Like, why do you think all the poker like streams are like, Ethan Klein, we love Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein, come on in here. Because he's free fucking money. He's paying the pros bills. He's a whale. And the thing about Ethan is like, Ethan Klein is like one of my favorite types of personality, which is nothing could ever happen to make them change their mind. Like today on this stream, you watched me changing my mind. I went from, I'm pretty sure this video is fake to, this video might be altered. You saw me change my mind. And when I saw the new information, I didn't flail around going, no, you guys are definitely wrong. I said, no, you know what? Maybe my skepticism toward the Daily Wire and this video, this seemingly well-founded skepticism leads me to believe a certain thing. And I realized I hadn't really applied my normal standards to this specific video. And then it's like, wait, I used this as an example, but then I didn't do the thing I was telling you to do. And it's like, fuck. Maybe I'm wrong on this one. And you know what? I didn't blame Hassan. I didn't blame anybody else but myself. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this is real. It sounds altered. This is why I believed it was fake, but maybe it is real. Maybe it is a propagandistic clip. And I didn't have a narcissistic crash out over it. I was just like, maybe my initial impression was wrong. That's okay. That's actually, everybody is like this. Even massive newspaper and journalistic institutions make wrong calls. They have entire pages called corrections pages. Even though they have editors, even though they have fact checkers, even though they have journalists, cooperate, they still put out mistakes. It happens. But the way you react to that is the problem. Does anybody have a clip of Ethan Klein's recent poker? He did like a poker stream recently. And I think I saw like the worst poker I've ever seen in my life. And I've been playing poker since the moneymaker boom. Actually, before the moneymaker boom, to be honest, which is very funny. And the thing about poker is it is a very hard game that has a lot of depth and requires you to learn and put effort into learning. And there's no fucking way Ethan Klein has even read a single book on poker, let alone studied anything. Can please someone give me the clip? I need the clip so badly. When do we get the Central Committee home game? That's a good question.
So your land is shit. You basically can't grow anything and nobody wants to trade with you. Despite this, North Korea still managed to survive, which is honestly very impressive. Around half of their country's exports is fake hair, so maybe men should stop using minoxidil and finasteride and support North Korea. Also, they make so much money by hacking. For example, literally 3 months.
I just saw a clip of somebody folding second nuts. They had like, it was like aces full, or they had 4 aces and they folded to a straight flush. Now, when I saw that, I was like, no, this is a terrible fold. This is a terrible fold. I'm sorry if he was right in this specific instance, but like, nah. Folding to a straight flush with both cards involved is fucking, that's crazy. So either this guy puts out some sort of massive tell. I need to like go back over the video. Maybe they were like so deep it made sense, but like, no, dude. One combination beats you. Like, nah, dude, you can't be folding that.
Months ago, they stole $1.5 billion from a crypto exchange, Bybit. They also stole $620 million from Axie Infinity.
I beat someone with a full house with a straight flush once. He was so on tilt they had to move me to another table. They should have banned that guy from the room for being a baby.
Finds a 4,000.
Yeah, this no, it's not this.
You know, stupid.
Steiny's gonna play a lot of hands.
Why is Ethan Klein playing 6-3 offsuit? Every poker site, every stream wants this motherfucker in the game. And by the way, he's limping. He's calling. He's calling. Ethan Klein may be the worst poker player on the entire world. Like, legitimately.
Hands.
Well, he's got very little hands.
I could, yes. If it was on me, I could.
Remember discipline. There we go.
Got that look.
All right, just to talk about poker for a second. Why I'm laughing and pausing. Okay. So Ethan Klein is playing probably one of the worst hands you could have. It's like one of the worst hands at all. Like the lowest equity against multiple other players. Dog shit. The flop, since it's like it is not a raised pot, or is it just like a single raise? I didn't see what the blinds were. 8-10 slams your opponent's ranges. People are going to be calling with lots of like mid pocket pairs, you know, connected cards, you know, ace 10s, queen 10s, king 10s, jack 10s. So this absolutely slams the range of your opponents. And the worst part is for Ethan, he's got a pair of threes, which against three other players is incredibly unlikely to be good here. Incredibly unlikely to be good. And guess what? It isn't. Somebody has an 8. So Ethan Klein put money in, and now he's slightly connected with the board, which it makes him have to have difficult decisions, right? Because when you hit a pair on the flop, you're gonna fold? Then why the fuck are you playing 6-3? What are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? So you're gonna, the question of what to do here is fold. The question of what to do here is fold. You should have folded pre-flop. Now you should really fold. This is not a place to bluff because it doesn't make any sense. First of all, people are going to have a lot of strong hands here. They're going to have a lot of sets. They're going to have a lot of open-enders. They're going to have a lot of nut flush draws. They're going to have a lot of good hands. You know, 4 to a straight. This is fucking terrible chance to... Also, you've got to get through so many other people. You should never be bluffing here with this hand. This is, first of all, talking about establishing ranges. What is the range that you're putting out here? 8-10? What do you have here? You're betting all in for. Like, it doesn't make sense. Ace 10 with the ace of spades? Like, what are you doing here? What is the ranges that you have? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Doesn't he? He just wants to wreck Steiny too. That's the problem.
Okay, Steiny. He raises, what was that? 3/4 pot bet with the second pair and some backdoors. Okay, totally fine. He has the strongest hand.
Which is calls.
Is this a cash game or is this a tournament?
I love whatever you want.
But I have a pretty
Whatever
good...
you want.
$30,000.
$20,000? He is every poker player's dream. Okay, wait. He calls and then a off-suited 5 hits. What is he representing? He decides to donk out and bet. What is he representing? What is he saying he has? I guess he's saying... I don't understand what he's saying. What are you talking about, Ethan? Why? What are you talking about? What are you saying you have? What are you doing? What? There is no... What straight? What straight is he representing? Exactly, there isn't one.
Much. Fuck it. Seriously. Where's guy?
You might just think that 3 is good. Why does he do this?
No, don't.
Oh, he goes all in! Ritualistically humiliated.
He made like a check hand. And then he bet. Okay. So the flush and the straight hit, like the front door flush hit, 7 makes a lot of straights. So I actually don't completely hate his decision to go all in. It just doesn't make sense to do it with this hand. I feel like if you're going to play this hand like this, you should have... Honestly, I don't think he should play poker. I don't... But it did seem like he made a check motion to me, didn't it? It seems like he made a check motion to me. Am I crazy?
3 is good. Why does he do this?
No.
Okay. He didn't quite touch the... He didn't touch the felt, so it's fine.
Don't.
Oh, he goes all in! Ritualistically
Okay, so Steiny has the 8-7, 2 pair. He's only really beating bluffs. You know, like nobody's going all in there with like 2 pair for value or even a set. I don't think you go all in with a set here. I think you play a little bit more defensively. So he's really only bluff catching.
Humiliated once more.
How much more he got to put in?
Oh, fuck.
And there is the call.
boy.
It didn't work.
2 pair.
Idiot, bro.
Ship it.
Why would he?
6, 7,
He's got nothing.
5,
Easy
6.
money.
It doesn't make
Bring me your
sense
chips.
that you would even call that.
And look at that chip lead that you just pointed out.
Can I get a rack?
You heard Bryce tell Ethan it's a pretty sick bluff, but finds a 4,000.
What is it with Ethan Klein and showing up with absolute dog shit? Why is he always showing up with absolute dog shit against the most connected, suited boards of all time? And he's got no fucking outs. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? He's such an idiot. He's such a fucking idiot. 7% to split the pot. What a genius. God damn, he's so bad at this.
No.
Push.
No.
All in? Yeah.
I call.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, this is, oh my Lord. Bro, when a poker pro says, are you all in super eagerly? Oh my God, holy shit. I need to share thank you Ethan Klein with all the poker pros.
Oh.
There's a lot of shoves in this game.
Oh, straight.
What?
To the jack.
I had 8, 9 of diamonds, or yeah, 8, 9
guys.
Oh, boy.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he can chop with an 8.
How about an 8?
Yeah.
8.
That's fine, right?
The announcers are like, please don't felt the fish. Don't felt the fish. Don't felt the fish.
Do it for the family.
How about an 8?
Come on, dealer.
An 8
Hit
for
the
the
8.
fam.
Please no diamond.
How can you called off like 500 big blinds with 7s?
I know.
And now you're folding 8, 9 of diamonds.
Holy shit, dude. Holy shit, dude.
Thank you, Ethan Klein.
Ethan, if you just
are my best friend.
Honestly, Ethan, it'll be more fun for you if you just give people the money. Like, if you just give people the money and you don't make it go through the whole ritualistic thing where you get humiliated and then they take it from you, you'll probably feel better about yourself and they'll like you more.
I folded.
Really weird.
I will say, turns out it's a great fold. Nick Wright proves to a king high
That's
straight.
true. Excellent laydown. Oh, dear.
No, you might have folded 2 diamonds.
I just don't get it.
Oh, Esteban.
The idea, like, Ethan Klein seems like somebody that all you have to do is just kind of sit back and then get into a hand with him. And because he's so narcissistically incapable of admitting defeat or that he was wrong, that he'll just bluff off his whole stack. You just make sure that you have a solid connected hand. Like, it doesn't, and you could just, he'll shove the chips in your direction. You don't have to do anything fancy. Just let him bluff it off to you.
It might be over.
Oh, it started off
Feels
so
like
well.
they're the main characters and we're the extras.
I'm like this guy.
Yeah.
But don't go anywhere, chat. You know,
Is he sniffling?
stick around. No matter what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
We're on air for quite a while with this bunch.
Yeah, and Ethan might not be done. I mean, he might take some
Might
cash,
hang out.
you know, throw some money on the table.
Yeah.
For the mom part, it doesn't know. Because we only did it for.
Come on, Ethan.
It looks like he got up.
But it was my fault when you
It
raised.
looks like he got up.
Normally,
The clients being
No, but
here,
then
we know
that makes the run out
going
even
through a
worse.
lot, and we thank them sincerely for the time spent here. Enjoyed getting to know them over this
And that
last
knowing
year
you
or
called
so.
me with ace-7.
Any of
I'm
those
like,
snarks out there, stay out of our chat.
they can
for sure.
They can
Oh, man. I love poker pros, dude. I just have a soft spot for poker pros. Anybody whose job is to just slowly drain the rich. For some reason, I have a soft spot for that. Holy shit. That was some terrible poker. That's some of the worst poker I've ever seen in my life. Holy fucking hell. I'm not saying never make bluffs with air, but to just have be every single time that you get knocked out, it's a complete air into a very strong hand. It's like, maybe you're spewing a little bit.
Also, though, I had a really fun. They branded me from the announcer booth. Can you believe that? They said I'm a liability.
What? How so?
I guess the last time I was in there, some of the sponsors complained that I was too crass.
I got that call.
Yeah. What did they say? What did they tell you?
Yeah, some of the sponsors didn't like you in the booth.
You ruined it for all of us.
Yep.
Oh, what? You're gonna go in there and be the top dog now, AB? You're gonna be in there?
I was the top dog before you went in there.
I just love the idea that he thinks he's the top dog because people are nice to him because they want him to play the game because he's so bad that he attracts pros. Like, pros like to play because he fucking is a low-skilled player that they can milk and pay their rent with. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to play against each other. They want to have a part of the table where it's tilted in their direction. He shows up, that's their fucking rent.
I was in there first.
Yep.
Everyone loved me. It was all good vibes. And then you came in and you fucked it up.
Killed the vibes. Vibe killer.
What's the best position to be in poker?
I would be surprised if he's even like looked at Doyle Brunson, or if he even really knows the odds of like hitting a flush or whatever. I would be very surprised if he's aware of even basic poker math.
Not your position.
You literally don't even know. Like, how are you going to announce a game when you can't even answer the most basic fundamental question?
I don't think it was your poker knowledge that got you.
Yeah.
Well, but that's important when you're announcing, Dan.
It's important.
But so AB's going to be in there.
It's not the only thing.
These games are organized around affiliated pros. The pros play with their money, and the company gives the influencers money to play with. The influencers can keep profit, but it's designed to create content, shitty players, to dump money back into the affiliated pros. No, you're totally true. You're totally right. You're totally right.
That's
okay, important. But AB's going to go there and be nice? Like, I'm sorry, there's plenty of nice people in the world. Not many people with the deep poker knowledge like me.
I unironically can't tell if he's joking or if he's serious. I really cannot tell if he's joking or serious. I can't.
People are loving my commentary. Talk about Skillhouse. Talk about Ryan Kavanaugh.
That's true.
Yeah.
He was spreading the gospel.
Yeah, I liked it.
Sponsors were
the Ryan Kavanaugh slander. He was spreading the Ryan Kavanaugh slander. Has Ryan sued AB? Does Ryan Kavanaugh know anything about AB slandering him as well, or is it just Ethan? He is dead serious. It's insane how much aggression he targets towards AB. Ethan has walked all over him since he was hired. Oh, man. Oh, god damn, dude. Oh, that's rough. Fuck, man. Holy shit. All right, let's finish Gatsu.
And they just make a lot of money because their hackers are really good. But if there is no internet...
Am I good at playing poker as you are practicing law? I would say that... the only practicing I did was when I was in clinic in law school, which is the opportunity that you get when you're in law school to practice law. And I would say I was pretty good at it. I forced, I was on the plaintiff side. I was pretty good at it. But the thing about law in particular, why it doesn't appeal to me, is you could see it right now. Like, it's why I understood that Donald Trump wouldn't go to prison, but Hutch and Destiny thought he would. Like, because I understand the law, right? And I've studied it. And I understand something called legal realism, which is that the political system constructs law, not law constructing the political system. So what Donald Trump represented, the Republican coalition, all of conservatism and conservative politicians and conservative judges were going to rally around Trump and give him impunity. I was able to see that years ahead of time because of my legal education. And somebody like Hutch, which is why he lost multiple bets to me on this point, was that he didn't understand how law actually works in society. That's why education is valuable, and being a failed COD pro isn't that valuable. Ethan telling AB to shut the fuck up. I would love, can someone put together a supercut of all the times Ethan Klein is mean to AB? Can someone put together that supercut every time he humiliates him, every time he sexually harasses his mother, every time he tells him to shut up, every time he bullies him? Can someone put together a really nice edit of that? That would be a pretty fun piece of content. That would be a great edit. Wait, is Hutch the same COD YouTuber Hutch? Yes.
It's complicated. It's
not complicated.
I mean, no, there's no excuse. He's in the wrong 100%. There's no excuse for violence.
It's not complicated. It's not.
Violence is never the answer.
I'm sorry. It's not complicated.
No,
it's simple as fuck.
No, you're.
It's
I'm not
simple
saying
as
that.
fuck.
I mean, I'm afraid to speak.
Then don't.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? Don't fucking mince words now. Okay.
Okay. I'm not gonna say violence was Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. I think that's what happened, right? Was good or anything. But I do think that it is understandable, right? Like, if you're going to insult someone and their wife right in front of their face, I'm not saying that violence is good, but it's not like surprising. It is what it is, right? Like, I think that it was a bad move for Will Smith. I think he looked bad. I thought the joke was tasteless, but at the same time, like, you know, I'm not gonna clutch my pearls about it. It is what it is. Like, you know, it is what it is. I think people really overreacted to that incident. I thought it wasn't like, it was a slap, whatever. And really, it was about what Chris Rock was doing was he was shaming Will Smith for having an outspoken wife. That's what it was really about. It was you're not keeping your woman in line. It was misogyny. He was doing misogyny, and he was attacking Will Smith's masculinity, right? And so, like, if you're going to do that, you can't cry about getting slapped, right? If you're going to try to enforce masculinity on other people, if you're going to try to do kind of a misogynist shit, I'm not saying that I like them. I'm not saying that I like her. You know, I'm just saying that that's what was happening. You can't, you know, if you're going to attack someone's masculinity and they react with violence, I mean, you're playing that masculinity game. It is what it is. It was also everyone overreacted. That was the problem. It was clear a lot of, yeah, of course. Like if somebody made fun of Melania Trump in front of Trump and Trump went up and socked someone, do you think everybody would be calling him like the N-word and saying how he's a criminal, or would they be cheering? You know, there's something to think about.
It's complicated. It's
not complicated.
I mean, no, there's no excuse. He's in the wrong 100%. There's no excuse for violence.
It's not complicated. It's not.
Violence is never the answer.
I'm sorry. It's not.
The Zionists saying violence is never the answer is too funny. So funny. It picks me up to watch a brainlet like Mike be successful because it reminds me anything is possible. Here's the thing about you, my friend. You will never be successful. You will never be successful. We don't know much about them, but we're sure JBM 1515 is great. That's pretty much the world to you. That's pretty much the world to you. You are irrelevant. I think one of the things that's really interesting about a lot of people is how they live vicariously through others. They live vicariously through others. Like, you think you're on the team. You're not on the team. What are your accomplishments? What is your life? Let me learn a little bit about you. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. I would love to know. What are your accomplishments? What do you do for a living? Come on. Tell me about yourself. Come on. Own me. Come on. Own me. Unemployed Destiny Stan started following me a week after the election. What made you jump into the community? What was the... Oh, it's so funny. Your whole career is hating Jews. Your career is hating Jews. Wait. You said I was ugly, but you're an Ethan Klein fan. How's that? Keep the Twitch follows. Dylan Burns TV, Stardust. You follow third-tier Destiny orbiters. Holy David Pacman. Oh, not so erudite. There's nothing fake about my laughter at you. Epstein fan. Oh, wait. Hey, Epstein fan. What do you think of this? What do you think of this soundboard? I made a soundboard just for you. Here, hold on.
I really enjoy this guy's perspective, and he seemed to have like a huge amount of knowledge about electoral politics. Now electoral politics are way more interesting to me, and this guy seems to have like a good backing.
After I humiliated Destiny in our first debate, that was his response. I'm gonna change my life to think about electoral politics. Did you never know that? Sorry, I inflicted him on us. My bad. Anything. What was your life? Anyway, so you're a Stardust fan, huh? Wait, what? You haven't told me. Wait, you haven't told me about yourself yet. Come on. Tell me about yourself. Come on. I'm gonna tell you about myself. All right. I had my fun. You can stay. So basically, you are a Destiny super fan. What's your favorite part about Destiny's content? You follow all the orbiters, so what's your favorite part? What's he really smart on? Like, what does he do that really attracts you? What does he do that makes you think he's really smart? I'm always curious because, like, it's rare to get one of you people to actually make a point. So I want to know, what's your favorite part about Destiny and the Destiny orbit? What does DGG do for you? Get mad, bro. You're like in your 30s, man. You're like in your 30s. Watching him make you look stupid. When did he do that? When did he do that?
It's such an unbelievably stupid. He just doesn't know anything.
You came in committed to a viewpoint that AOC was economically illiterate.
AOC is economically illiterate because she said that the money spent on stock buybacks should be spent on labor.
My dad ran a small business. And whenever we had a good year in the small business, we tried to pay our secretaries more, or we tried to invest more in things for the business.
Which is a dumb fucking statement to make that shows you have no idea how anything in economics works. Why? What would drive you to make these statements?
First of all, it's not dumb as
It is dumb as to expect a company to return profits to its workers.
As a CEO of a major company, I can take that money and I don't have to do that at all, right? I can actually have the company buy its own stock on the market, right? Yeah. That would effectively increase the stock price, right? And I've done nothing to make my product more...
Did we find his literotica profile? Did we find his literotica profile? Oh no. Oh no. We found your literotica profile, JBM 1515. Who's Mephisto Pegari? Oh no, we found your literati profile. Literotica. I don't think JBM 1515. Oh no, where'd you go? Where do you like Love Toilet? Why is Love Toilet your favorite author? Is it about scat porn and urine porn? Is that it? Anyway, let's go back to Destiny making me look dumb. Hold on.
More valuable, my employees more happy. I haven't invested in the training or the workforce, but I've inflated the stock price, right? Absolutely right. So my question is, how is this different from a pyramid scheme? No, that's a very good question.
That's why I said AOC is a idiot. Not to mention, wait, I don't even know what this has to do with stock buybacks at this point.
They are incentivized for short-term stock gains over long-term investment. It's better that dividends are paid because it's usually a taxable event. Not always, but usually. You could structure your sales during that spike in the price.
You could also get ultra by the SEC because this is called...
By the way, the thing about Destiny and why people like JBM, the scat pornography masturbator, that's all we know about you so far. We asked for your accomplishments, and all we found out is that you masturbate to scat porn. Mike, are you going to threaten to beat me up now? Because you're such an alpha. Get mad, bro. What happened? Where'd you go? He's got scat porn to masturbate to. This is the guy by the way, chat, this is the guy, this is 6 years ago, by the way. 6 years ago debate. We debated 7 or 8 times. There has never been a time where a single Destiny fan has ever said, Mike, he made you look really dumb on this point. Do you have any reaction? Not one time. Not one time. 6 years later. 6 years later. The soy right. Anyway, here's what our debates actually look like.
Insider trading, Mike.
Oh, you could structure it. I'm going to sell. Yes, you can.
Oh my God, it's just the most...
Oh my God. Do you know how it works?
I guess I don't, Mike. When these people sell their capital, eventually they will pay taxes on it. But again, if you want to talk about...
Why would they sell? Why would they sell? You borrow against the value of your shares. You don't have to liquidate. You can borrow against the value.
Okay,
and you don't pay any taxes on borrowing. So right there, you're just wrong. Like if I own $1 billion, do you think, wait a minute.
Why would I borrow against the value of my investment? Can you even do this?
Because you don't have to pay any taxes on it. That's why. If you borrow against the value of your shares, you never have to pay taxes.
Somebody in chat has to tell me, I'm not going to take his word for it. Somebody in chat, do you borrow against the value of...
So, JBM, did he make me look dumb here? Wait, where'd you go? I think we found his literotica profile, chat. We found his literotica profile. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Why do you think this is his Reddit? Why do you think this is his Reddit? This comment? Oh, shit! JBM 1515 is my PSN. Okay, well, Well, in that case, Revolution Entire 1330. Unemployed, entry-level finance accounting role, USA. Review my resume. Okay, I'm not going to show that because I don't want to full-blown dox the guy. But holy shit. Unemployed? You're unemployed? Oh, okay.
Ultra-wealthy use loan money to fund their lifestyle. Average people need income to pay for basics like housing and food. But the ultra-wealthy don't. They can just live on...
So wait a minute. You masturbate to scat porn. You're unemployed. You've been on Twitch for 6 years, so you're probably in your mid-30s, maybe early 30s, and you think Destiny made me look bad. And you came in here to talk tough to me? You have got not one accomplishment to your name, and I humiliated your dumb fuck Destiny, your daddy, the sex criminal, and you're still posting in his fucking, you're still posting in his subreddit. Embarrassing.
Borrowed cash.
It's like one of the most fundamental parts of our economy.
Okay. Oh, he doesn't know anything.
I can't believe you don't know that rich people take loans against their.
I don't think any rich person does this. What?
What?
You can't just do that willy-nilly.
Yes, you can.
No,
of course you can.
No, you can't. These are tax-advantaged investment accounts. You cannot just take loans against them. That's the whole point of these tax-advantaged accounts.
Destiny, you're arguing against a position I don't have. If you are rich, if you're Jeff Bezos, does you think he liquidates his shares to buy?
Yes, he needs liquid cash because that's how we purchase things in the United States. You use currency to do it. Now I'm going to take out a secured loan against my investments?
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Because I don't want to pay interest with cash that I already have. Why the f would I pay interest when I have money in an investment? Why would I take out a loan from the bank and use my own investments to secure that loan and then pay interest to the bank when I could just liquidate my own shares, Mike? Why the f this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Because you don't have to pay taxes when you take a loan, but if you liquidated stuff that you have a capital gain in, you'll have to pay taxes. That's why.
He just doesn't know anything.
The thing about Destiny is not only is he stupid, but he's also incredibly arrogant. And when he doesn't know shit, he acts like that. And his audience of unemployed scat porn masturbators like JBM here, who came in here earlier, they don't understand that this is like basic shit. This is 101 level shit. He just is so arrogant and so stupid. And these are the people, and that's why they don't show clips from our debates, right? Because when we debated, I made him look like a dumb fuck. And when you go back and look at what I said back then and compared to what actually happened, for the most part, I was dead on accurate. Like, I predicted that going with Biden would likely rejuvenate Trumpism. I was totally correct. In our first debate, I said Bernie was a better person to pursue with the Democratic Party than Biden. And I gave a shit ton of examples and empirical arguments and all that shit. None of them ever go back to that. What they try to do is take clips of me where they think I look bad in a moment, which is totally stripped from context. And that's JBM's entire life. And the reason why I decided to take some time to make fun of JBM is because every single one of them is like this. Every single Destiny fan and Destiny orbiter, when I actually pay attention to them and look at them with 1% of the energy that they try to put at me and Hassan, they fucking crumble. I've got your fucking resume now, bitch. Like, this is what you've done. This is your public fucking, like, shit. Like, what are you doing, man? You're not anonymous. And this is what I tried to explain to Destiny when he argued that he should be able to say the N-word. You're not anonymous. There's going to be consequences for this shit. You can't be an antisocial freak and an edgelord into your fucking 40s. Anyway, do you feel alpha mogged? Wait, where'd you go? Where'd you go? I guess I alphaed you. I guess I alphaed you. I guess I just alphaed you, didn't I? JBM 1515. Cat porn unemployed masturbator.
I think that we are on the precipice of sending out a new term sheet. Hopefully will be delivered later on today. The president is going to review it. And I have some very good feelings about getting to a long-term resolution, temporary ceasefire, and a long-term resolution, a peaceful resolution of that conflict. I think that we are on the precipice of sending out a new term sheet. Hopefully will be delivered later on today. The president is going to review it. And I have some very good feelings about getting to a long-term resolution, temporary ceasefire, and a long-term resolution, a peaceful resolution of that conflict.
Listen, I am loath to give Trump credit for everything, but if it's true that they do actually end the genocide and bring in reconstruction forces and they don't displace the Palestinians and the Israelis withdraw, then Donald Trump did a better job in Palestine than Biden did. If this falls through like I expect it will, he's just as bad as Biden. JBM right now, defeated male leaves. Holy shit. And it's so funny that he lives vicariously through Destiny. Oh my god, dude. Holy shit. A literal sex criminal who abused mentally ill teenage girls. Like, that's your fucking hero? That's your hero? A guy who would, you know what Destiny would do, chat? This is something that was pretty well known. Was Destiny's fans would go through the like directory of Twitch streamers and look for teenage girls with like, say, like 5, 10, 20 viewers. And they would pile into their chat and be like, you should talk to Destiny. You should talk to Destiny. And Destiny would bring teenage girls onto his stream, which had a few thousand viewers, right? And then he would engage, like start a relationship with them, dangling the like prospects of becoming a successful streamer over them. And then he would like fly out to meet them, have sex, and then ghost them. He was the Harvey Weinstein of Twitch. And that was something they did for so long. And they would participate in it. That was like part of their community, was like finding Destiny more people to like, you know, talk to. Absolute disgusting, vile scum. I didn't know about this at the time when I first debated him. Like, this is something that we weren't really aware of. But once he like turned on us, we found out more and more of the shit that came out. That's his fucking hero, dude. That's the scat porn masturbator's hero. Which, I mean, it explains it, right? Unemployed, in his parents' basement, masturbates all day to scat porn. Destiny is his hero. Whew. Do I even need to say it? Do I even need to say it? I think we're all thinking, we all know what needs to happen. He's 36 and lives with his mother-in-law. Oh, he might be divorced. Oh, he's gonna be divorced soon. He has a Rule 34 account, which includes minor characters in the favorites. Oh my god! Oh, he's a lolicon masturbator now. Oh no! Oh god! All right, I gotta ban that guy for community safety. Mods, can you ban that guy for community safety? We don't want to have pedophiles in the community. Can you ban him for community safety? Thank you. No wonder he hates me and Hassan so much. They're just like, Hassan and I treat women with respect and only date adult women. And so all the pedophiles come out of the woodwork to like attack us. It's so fucking weird, man. Why does it turn out that every one of your critics is like this? Because I'm normal toward women. Because I'm normal toward women and I don't see women as just like something to exploit or an object. And because I like respect women, not just in a cringe lord male feminist trying to be a pick-me way, but just like I treat them like human beings. And they think they project all their anxieties onto me. So they're black-pilled incels. So they look at Hassan and they go, women only like him because he's tall and hot and muscular and rich and all women are shallow. Blah, blah, blah. That's the incel. Then they look at me and they project the idea of their insecurities about being cringe or whatever onto me. And so they make up stories about me. When in reality, it's actually just them describing their lives, not mine. And I don't know how. So that's where the like dichotomy is. UK prosecutors authorized 21 criminal charges against Andrew and Tristan Tate. This is who XQC and Asmongold admire. I can type, chat. What are the charges? Rape, bodily facing criminal sexual assault charges, including rape, human trafficking, rape, eating a meal, a succulent Chinese meal. I kind of want to post this in the soy right group, but we'll just post it. The reason why I didn't put rape is because those kind of words tend to be de-emphasized in algorithms. Like if you say rape, typically it doesn't like those posts will just get totally buried. So I tend to try to, it's like why I don't put Gaza in my title. Like I don't put Gaza in my title because I know they're going to suppress that. So I'll say like Middle East because you know what I mean, but it won't get suppressed. It's very annoying, but it is what it is. Yes, Via. What is this? Is it kielbasa? It's like kielbasa with eggs and rice. Nice. Lunch. Let's go. Lunch. Let's go. Thank you, Ethan. Klein is now stuck in my head. You're welcome. All right. I wanted to talk about this story and Hassan pulled all the polls for me. So I get to be super lazy while also DSA fishing Hassan viewers. So I'll probably end up closing this video and pulling up the polls myself. but I need to pee, so we're gonna watch. Oh, the Gatsu video. Fuck. Let's finish the Gatsu video. I got off a track. Fuck. All right, let's finish this first.
In North Korea, how do they have good hackers? They select kids who show good skills in math and then send them to China for further training. After they turn into a bunch of Mr. Robots, they hack people and make money for the country. While this seems like a hood way to make money, when no other country trades with you and your land is ass so you can barely grow food on it, your options get very limited. Like when they tricked an Egyptian construction company to building a mobile network and then stealing it. And when you have a North Korean phone, it comes with a lot of genuinely cool stuff. Like, what do you mean you can play Super Mario Galaxy on your North Korean phone, bro? It comes pre-installed, and that's genuinely so cool. A lot of Angry Birds too, and an anti-mosquito app that emits a low-pitched noise to keep the mosquitoes away. When you buy an Android, it comes with a bunch of bullshit apps. Like, no, bro, I don't want an AR Zone app on my phone. Samsung South Korea. North Koreans get Super Mario Galaxy. They also have access to North Korean internet, which is around 5,000 websites which are strictly controlled. And to get any new apps on your North Korean phone, you have to go to a physical app store where they install stuff for you. Hey, yo, why the fuck does a metro in Pyongyang look better than the metro in the hood I grew up in? This shit looks like a fucking coal mine, and they haven't fixed it for the past 7 years. Hell nah, bro. My government is so bad, fucking North Korea cares more about their people than the Georgian government. Genuinely, look at this shit. Their metro looks objectively very good, and in Tbilisi, my old station has had no fucking roof for the last 7 years. The thing is, the North Korean leadership is objectively evil. For people that are supposed to be anti-imperialist, they sure do love sending their soldiers to Russia to fight against Ukrainians, which just doesn't make any sense, because the only reason North Korea is like this is because the US bombing the shit out of them. And now they decide to send their soldiers to fight against Ukraine, who are in the same position North Korea was, by being bombed, except they didn't even start the war first. The main reason they're doing this is, of course, because of money, and also that they need allies, so politically it makes sense, but it also just goes to show you that their morals are whatever keeps their regime and the rule of the Kim dynasty together. And for a country who teaches their kids that North Korea is the most morally pure and superior country to others and all others are evil, it's pretty hypocritical, which is why they have stupid laws, such as when you visit the Kim statues, you have to take flowers to them and you have to bow down to them. And of course, if they actually wanted good for their population, they would not just load them with propaganda with the intent to strengthen the Kim dynasty and the people get nothing in return. And in their propaganda, South Korea is depicted as a puppet of the US. And I mean...
Maybe they be happy.
I mean, heartbreaking. The worst person you know just made a good point. All the newspapers are related to the Kim dynasty, but generally North Korea's propaganda department always works overtime. Like when they produce this Hollywood type scene with Kim in all leather and sunglasses firing a missile. And also, not many people know this, but North Korea makes so much movies and they are all available on YouTube. Next time your significant other wants to watch a movie and you don't know what to watch, be like, I got you, babe, and put on Our Lifeline DPRK 2002 English sub part 1 of 2. Most North Korean movies are about anti-American and anti-Japanese sentiment, along with glorifying the Kim dynasty of war and patriotism, or this one movie where a woman had to quit her factory job to become a housewife and she wanted to go back to the factory to serve the country. And her husband got mad at her because he wanted her to be a housewife and take care of the family. But then she still returned to work, and one time the husband's train broke down, and what does he see? His wife helping fix the train. And then he realized, damn, women are important to the workforce. But the funniest part of this movie was that the conclusion was that women are still supposed to clean the house and raise the kids and work a factory job at the same time. So it wasn't progressive in any way you would think. It's just adding more responsibility. And in their movies, they used prosthetics to make Americans, and in one of them, they just dressed up a dude with a blonde wig and he was supposed to be a white woman. I apologize, North Korea. I was not familiar with your game regarding femboys.
Hey, you're not one of those silly men that's dressed like a woman, are you? No, baby, I'm the real thing.
And And the worst thing ever is that they have nukes. Now, honestly, I trust North Korea with nukes way more than I trust Israel, Russia, India and Pakistan, or Iran. The fact that those countries have nukes is the reason why I sleep badly at night. Those countries having nukes is like giving the Joker nuclear access. Like, why? Who did this? And nukes are very, very expensive. You not only have to research and make them, but you have to maintain them. And that shit is not cheap. So to see the North Korean leadership sacrificing the good of their people for nukes is kind of sad. But also, they're mad that the US destroyed their entire country and they're sort of overcompensating right now. As you probably realized, they care very much about their looks and their aura. All dictators are obsessed with big things, such as when Hitler wanted to build a Volkshalle, the biggest enclosed building in the world, or when another prominent dictator, Rishi Sunak, wanted to build the world's biggest library in Birmingham. And North Korea has built the biggest stadium in the world. And the second is in Czechia, where there was a rave hosted, and me and Leo actually went in. It was pretty cool. They also have this big building in their capital called Yugyong Hotel, and it was supposed to be the tallest building in the world. I genuinely don't know who they thought could use this hotel, since North Korea's border policy isn't exactly the same as any other country. So the tallest hotel in the world, but you don't allow tourists in. Who the fuck was supposed to stay in there, man? It was supposed to house 3,000 guests over 105 floors, 5 restaurants at the top, nightclub, everything. It was supposed to be baller, but it never ended up opening. Instead, they added some LEDs to it and now use it for vibing. And the latest update we have on that hotel is that last year they were looking for a casino operator to complete the building in exchange for the profits made by the casino. Despite this, there is no other place I would rather go than a North Korean souvenir shop. Bro, their shit goes so hard. Imagine being posted up in North Korea. And of course, I've seen some idiots on the internet defending North Korea as just a victim of American imperialism, and that's why they're like this. But there is no excuse for a country's leadership to treat their citizens this way, being by far the most restrictive country in the world, to the point where they kill their own citizens if they attempt to leave. And because of this, a lot of North Koreans that try to escape get caught up in some sort of human trafficking or just get shot. Such as when this 24-year-old North Korean soldier said, you know what? Fuck this shit, man. I want to watch anime and boom. And then drove a car straight through the fucking border, crashed, got shot 5 times by North Korean soldiers, then passed out after crossing the border where he was rescued by South Korean soldiers and survived, and it was all on video. I would not want to be this man's kid because he'll say, oh, you don't know what real struggle was like. I had to get shot 5 times and pass out with an 11-inch parasite in my body, and then show you the video on his phone. See, this is me, and your broke ass, dumbass, shrimp dick ass doesn't even want to do math. But despite all this beef, North and South Korea have one thing in common. They both have a shit birth rate, to the point where a video surfaced of Kim Jong-un crying because he leads a country of incels. Knowing you lead an incel country is a tough pill to swallow, but this makes the entire Korean peninsula situation even more intense. Because now, besides both of them having very good militaries, now they are also in a battle of whose people will die out from low birth rates first. And North Korea is gonna win this one. Their birth rate is not at replacement level, which is 2.1, but South Korea is literally the lowest in the world at 0.75 children per woman. But North Korea executes their citizens over literally anything. It's like that one clip.
You shout like that, they put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing. Journalists, we have a special jail for journalists. You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail. You're charging too high prices for sweaters, glasses, you right to jail. You undercook fish, believe it or not, jail. You overcook chicken, also jail. Undercook, overcook. You make an appointment with the dentist and you don't show up, believe it or not, jail, right away. We have the best patients in the world. Because of jail.
Like imprisoning people for watching foreign movies. Why do you want to watch American movie? Can't you see we have a thriving film industry of our own? I'm sending you to the DPRK CBT camp. This means Democratic People's Republic of Korea torture camp. You're going to be sent there, and well, you don't even want to know what happens next. Also recently, we had our first Georgian that went to North Korea. This YouTuber Soso around the world was recently able to travel to North Korea after no tourist has visited it for the past 5 years, along with other tourists, because they were hosting a marathon in Pyongyang and they were going to represent people from 200 different countries. Nobody knows what they told all the people like who they thought were participating in these shows. Maybe they told them these are the best runners in the world, and look, our athletes are gonna smoke their asses, while they were just tourists looking for a way to see North Korea. And he described North Koreans as the cutest people ever, that were so nice and waving at him because he's a foreigner. And he was just sad that he couldn't actually get to talk with them because they were not allowed during the tour. And even when they were showing the tourists around the metro, they gave them a separate wagon so they couldn't interact with the locals. Also, during their trip, they were not allowed to use local currency and could only pay with Chinese yuan or American dollars to the hotel and tour people. And this guy asked the tour guide to help him buy ice cream, and she wouldn't accept his money back.
How much? You went? No, please. How much? Please.
There's no doubt that North Korea has like a really strong social and political control that is in large parts paranoia and also understandable because of the trauma they've faced as a society. That said, I would like to see North Korea, you know, open up, and so it could stop being like the North Korean people being fucking demonized. It's insane.
Please, come on. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. After that, I'm going to mokled amis tankhara. Mikisra. Tansawareli.
And during this trip, they were feeding all the tourists a lot. They did like full meals 5 times a day. I think to dispel the rumors that North Korea doesn't have food and North Koreans are starving and shit. And they just did it to flex. Also, the city itself looks pretty fucking good. They hate to say it, man, but the monuments look cool, and they even color their commie blocks, which adds to the aesthetic and just makes it look nice. Generally, North Korea is a very interesting country, and I wish nothing but the best for the people that have to live in North Korea. It feels horrible to know that there are people living that don't have free access to the internet and free speech and any of the laws we take for granted. You know, these regimes such as North Korea or the United States will arrest you for protesting and saying the wrong thing. They all blindly worship one leader. No wonder these two are such big fans of each other. You know, I learned something today. No matter where you are in the world, having free speech and free media is an absolute blessing. And by free speech, I don't mean, oh, I can't say X race is bad, there is no free speech, but speech as in criticizing the government, which is genuinely one of my favorite hobbies. There are people who claim to be apolitical, but frankly, when they arrest someone close to you for speaking his or her mind, you can't really be apolitical after that, can you? The best Georgian scientists calculated that this is approximately what the average YouTube user now has to go through to find a good video to eat food to. So, if you don't want to struggle to find good videos to eat your food to, or use me as an ASMR dildo for your background noise, subscribe to my channel since I have my own Project 2025 to do. Thank you so much for watching. I really like how the channel has grown and have been given these new opportunities, and I am eternally grateful to all of you. Thank you so much for the support from the bottom
I got so called out. Eating 2 YouTube videos with all of you.
My heart. Like and subscribe, and goodbye. Don't forget to
let's help him hit his Project 2025 goals of 1 million subscribers, which is super fucking ambitious. We got fucking caught.
check out Conflict of Nations and unleash your TikTok nationalism with your desired country of choice. Now,
China invading and North Korea invading the US. Let's go!
Now, I'm going to help my Orthodox friends come out of their crushing debt. And click the link in the description where you can get an exclusive starter pack containing 13,000 gold and 1 month of a premium account that's valued at $15. This offer is valid for the next 30 days, so click the link in the description.
Datsu is so cool, dude. It's absolutely wild how the world created 2 dystopias on a single peninsula. Yo, dude. Who's the guy so I could sub? I just spammed it. What? I'm a fucking ethical reactor. I just spammed the video. All right. Now we're gonna do the Hasanabi reacts. Okay. Now we're doing Hasanabi reacts. Were you watching when you were gone? There was a ton of lib shit. No. I missed the lib shit. Here's the thing about North Korea. It's not a state that I emulate. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. I think we should stop demonizing them and open up. That's my personal opinion.
Has officially become a less popular figure than even Nancy Pelosi. Okay. And yet all of these abundance aligned political commentators are anti-Zoran. So much so that they are quite literally saying they might even endorse Eric Adams.
I was right again.
All right. What else was I going to show you? There was some other stuff that I was going to look at. Oh, we're going to talk about Zoran. We did already talk about Zoran getting endorsed by the liberal king, the liberal god king. Hashtag resistance liberalism, his very own right here.
Good morning, New York City. I know getting back on your feet after a long holiday weekend is tough, but here's some news that'll put some pep in your step. Like all campaigns, we hired a research firm to poll New Yorkers. What they just found? It's very exciting. Let's start with the headlines. We're now at 27% in the first round of ranked choice voting, firmly in second place behind Andrew Cuomo, with the next campaign in single digits. And in the final round, after every other candidate's been eliminated, it's us at 44% and Cuomo at 56%. That's a 12-point gap. In March, it was 40 points. And we've gotten here while a third of New Yorkers still haven't heard of us. That means we're nowhere near our ceiling. That's where you come in. Yes, we're gonna have more rallies, more TV ads, more videos like this, and that's all thanks to your contributions. Just this past weekend, our volunteers passed 600,000 doors knocked. No one else is even in the same galaxy, let alone the same neighborhoods. With less than a month to go, we're going to win a city that New Yorkers can actually afford and send Andrew Cuomo back to the suburbs.
My goat. I think Zoran's support is more firm than Cuomo's because his base is more politically engaged. Cuomo doesn't have a base. He's just trailing on name recognition and being a part of the Democratic Party machine that he designed in the state when he was the governor. He comes from a lineage of Cuomo's that have dominated New York politics. His last name is incredible.
Zoran is pro-BDS.
Incredibly recognizable. And a lot
The
of...
only thing Zoran said is the cringest thing he ever said. I don't even know why I'm bringing it up. Doesn't even matter.
Boomers, okay, regardless of their background, regardless of demographics, like once they get to a certain age and they hear that, they go, all right, that's a trustworthy name. I know that name. I'll rank it 1. That's the problem.
Damn, that was really good fucking kielbasa. Holy shit. Theo could cook a kielbasa. Let me tell you. I can say.
Mamdani, on the other hand, is not a name that they know. He needs that Phantom endorsement, and Jay Schlatt needs to run anti-Cuomo ads if he's a real hater. Yeah, that's what we need to do. We're gonna Phantom tax Andrew Cuomo. It just sucks. Are AOC and Bernie waiting for the final moments of their endorsement? They have to endorse him, right? I don't know what they're doing, man. I don't know what they're doing. I think AOC. I think one of the biggest problems with the Democratic Party politicians in this goddamn country is that they're so scared. They're so scared to lead, okay? And I can't believe I'm saying this for Bernie Sanders, who spent most of his career being pushed aside as a unique individual with politics that were far too radical for the average American. And then he literally was honest when he ran against the figurehead of establishment politics in 2016, and everyone was like, oh my God, what a breath of fresh air. There is a normal human being who speaks to our desires. And since then, he has just kept going back and taking way more restrained approaches over and over and over and over again. And I don't know why. They're just like scared to lead. Ironically enough, you're supposed to keep pushing. You're not supposed to, when you get to a position where your politics becomes more popular, okay, in the collective consciousness, when people start going, oh yeah, I do actually love that guy, you're not supposed to rein it in. You're not supposed to dial it back. You're supposed to keep pushing and push harder. What are you doing? Push harder. You know, it doesn't make any sense. And the same goes for AOC as well. I would say AOC was even more radical when she first ran. Like she was way more aggressive with her messaging, and it wasn't a bad thing. It was a good thing. But I think now that she has, and this is not, again, although I do have a direct line of communication with at least people that work in these campaigns and stuff. Like I'm not saying this off of like anything I know personally. This is simply my speculation as an outsider, just like you. I'm looking at this from the outside, and I feel like Perhaps she is entertaining, unseating Chuck Schumer, and she's actually destroying Chuck Schumer. By the way, there's polls that came out that show that AOC is more popular than Chuck Schumer amongst American Jews in New York. Okay, which is not.
What Americans think of 120 political leaders? Donald Trump, -6. Joe Biden, -19. Kamala Harris, -5. Barack Obama, +22. Barack Obama is retired. Nobody fucking cares. Hillary Clinton, -20. Elon Musk, -17. Donald Trump Jr., -6. George W. Bush, +3. Congratulations, liberals! Congratulations, MSNBC! You rehabilitated George W. Bush, who never stood up to Trump. That was just an invention of your own mind. Congratulations! Bernie Sanders, +12. So the only active politician who's positive is Bernie Sanders. The only actual currently active politician in the fucking country is Bernie Sanders, who's popular. You complete fucking dopes.
Not even remotely surprising if you understand how America.
And then if we look at it more, hold on, let's look at it more. How Democrats evaluate I mean, this is just Barack Obama, 86, Kamala Harris, 84, Bernie Sanders, 75, Joe Biden, 70. Tim Walz, 60, AOC, 61. So AOC is as known and as popular as Tim Walz, and he was the vice fucking president candidate where they spent billions of dollars raising his profile. I mean, that's insane. That's fucking insane. Among very liberal people, Barack Obama has 96. Is there no like independent evaluation? If you like Barack Obama, you're dumb as fuck. You are dumb as fuck. He is a massive, massive failure.
American politics works, but it does kind of cut away at the stupid argument that Chuck Schumer makes all the time, which is like, oh, I'm protecting American Jews. I'm protecting Judaism by protecting Israel. Well, it turns out American Jews don't give a fuck about that, big dog. What happened? I thought you were the annihilator of anti-Semitism and that was the primary function. That was the most important thing. Defending Israel was the most important thing for American Jews, I thought. Well, it turns out they don't give a f. Why would they? It's so stupid. AOC has like a 10-point lead amongst New York Jews against AOC, against Chuck Schumer, who is Jewish himself. He has the highest.
Trump erupted on a reporter asking about taco, a new term flying around Wall Street that stands for Trump always chickens out. Traders are loading up and dumping stocks based on Trump's erratic approach to announcing tariffs and then retreating on them. Trump was furious when the reporter asked about the term a few minutes ago and said he considered it one of the nastiest questions imaginable. He later returned to the topic and insisted that he was no chicken and that usually people said the opposite, that he's too tough. Holy shit. I mean, Wall Street is right. They're right. I'm sorry, but the traders are right. They figured it out. He's a pussy. He's a fucking pussy. They're dead right. Holy shit. Which reminds me, chat, we are 3 hours, almost 4 hours into the stream, and I forgot to chill. We are dangerously close to 7,000 subs. And as you know, chat, as you know, we have the biggest hater in the world.
Mike from PA.
Ethan Klein. And
Mike
if
from
you
PA.
remember Ethan Klein, when he sees you guys subscribing at tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 sub, he has a fucking meltdown.
To me, is a full-on grifter. One day I'm gonna do a video on this guy. He is the most pathetic dipshit on all of Twitch. And just to show you how easy this grift is, this guy is like relatively successful, and he is like not talented. Mike from PA to me is the. He is the most pathetic dipshit on all of Twitch, and just to show you how easy this grift is, this guy is like relatively successful, and he is like
relatively successful. Here's the clip of the taco content.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out? Oh, and then I chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced
China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number. And I said, you have to open up your whole country. And because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till July 9. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out? Because we have $14 trillion now invested, committed to investing when Biden didn't have practically anything. This country was dying. You know, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I went to Saudi Arabia. The king told me. He said, you got the hottest we have the hottest country in the world right now. 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number and I go down a little bit, a little bit, they want me to hold that number, 145% tariff. Even I said, man, that really got up. You know how it got? Because of fentanyl and many other things, and you added it up. I said, where are we now? We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high. That's high. They were doing no business whatsoever, and they were having a lot of problems. We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, they were having great difficulty because we were basically going cold turkey with China. We were doing no business because of the tariff, because it was so high. But I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead. To me, that's the nastiest question.
But it's true, though. It's true. And we actually called this out a while ago, did we not? Like I said, if the tariffs actually happen, it'll crash the economy. I still think we're on the verge of a recession because he's pissed off so many people that things like tourism have cratered. Like tourism is fucking cratering. Like it's collapsing because people hate Donald Trump and they don't want to come to America. They're worried. I mean, look, here's a story. I just pulled it up. Just on CNBC's front page. Fewer international tourists are visiting the U.S. Economic losses could be staggering, researchers estimate. Spending among international visitors to the U.S. is poised to fall $8.5 billion this year. Tourists are avoiding the U.S. as a destination amid tensions tied to Trump administration policy-related trade at the border. Like, he's crashing the fucking economy. The resulting decline warps out to a drop of 5% relative to last year. International arrivals are down 9% this year. The World Trade and Tourism Council said this month it expects the U.S. to lose a staggering $12.5 billion in spending from international visitors. Nice little chunk of change out of the ass. Oh, holy shit. Golden Kappa hype train. Chat. Holy fucking hell. Cosmic Sugar Cookie just gifted 10 subs and has started a Golden Kappa hype train. Holy shit, folks. This is your opportunity for the incredibly coveted and prestigious Golden Kappa. If you sub, resub, gift a sub, use your Prime, or give at least 200 bits right now during this hype train, you will have the opportunity to flaunt the Golden Kappa all throughout this website. But you need to contribute right now. Have you been thinking about subscribing? Now is the time. Holy shit, chat. The Golden Kappa. I can't even believe it. Ham and Fist, thank you for the 20 tier 1. Look at that, chat. I mean, when are you ever going to get an opportunity for a Golden Kappa hype train? A Golden Kappa hype train. Chat, we are dangerously close to 7,000. Dangerously close to 7,000 subs. We're almost there. If everybody, you stole my Golden Kappa luck, give it back. Vio, you've had like 18 Golden Kappas. You have more Golden Kappas than everybody on the entire website. You're hacked. You hacked Twitch. So shut up, sit down. Golden Kappa's here. No more Golden Kappas for Vio. All right, let's go back to making fun of Chuck Schumer.
He is the highest ranking Jewish politician in the country. Not the highest platform. Obviously, Bernie is more popular, but yeah, look at this. Look, Honan Strategy Group poll. New York City Dem sampled. New York 2028 Democratic Senate primary. AOC at 54%. Chuck Schumer at 33%. Cooked. It's over. New York City Jewish Democrats sampled. AOC at 45%. Chuck Schumer at 38%. Chuck Schumer has officially become a less popular figure than even Nancy Pelosi. Okay. New Yorker comment, signing up to Canvas right now. Do you know any neighborhoods that need more work? Since you know people working on the campaign, brother, why are you asking me? Ask the campaign.
Just go to the campaign website, sign up as a volunteer. This is how you do it, chat. I'll show you. Click search Zoran, go to Zoran for NYC, sign up to volunteer right there. You click that. Okay, it didn't fill in my info. I'm not going to click on any of these fields. Join Zoran for NYC. The campaign is talking to thousands of New Yorkers across the city about how we will make this city work better for the many and not the few. And to do this, we need you. You put in your information, you hit submit. They will get back to you. I guarantee it. Might even be within the day.
What? I don't know. That's crazy. You think I'm dialed in on like what areas of need? Look.
Okay. By the way, chat. Hassan. Yesterday, I yelled at someone for asking me, this week, I yelled at somebody for asking me about why South Africa is important. I want to just say, you're allowed to ask dumb questions. You're allowed to ask dumb questions. You're especially allowed to ask dumb questions when it's about how you could get involved. That's never a dumb question. I am happy to explain it. All right. That being said, I also want to empower you guys and gals and non-binary pals to gift subs right fucking now because we have a golden Kappa hype trade. Why are you wasting your time talking to me when you could be gifting money?
Look like for Zoran's camp.
Chat, we are 25 subs away from breaching 7,000 subs. We don't want Ethan Klein to feel like our sub count is declining. We don't want him to feel things are getting better for him.
Campaign? I don't know. Anyway, look. Someone says South Brooklyn. I canvass for Zoran. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe it's because of stuff like this. Maybe it's because she wants to like unseat Chuck Schumer potentially and become a.
I think AOC, if she doesn't endorse Zoran, it is a massive, massive political blunder. The likes of which it makes me question her as a leader in like a really fundamental way. If Bernie and AOC stay out of this race, they're pathetic fucking losers. They are pathetic fucking losers if they don't. Like, legitimately. Holy shit! Red Edge Planet, thank you for the 5. Oh, hell yeah, chat. Right now, the Green Lantern with 250 bits is getting the Hype Train Conductor badge along with Ham and Fist with 20 subs. The channel record for Hype Trade is level 33. So we're a mere 20 levels away. A mere 20 levels away from breaching the new Hype Train goal. A mere 20 levels. What is 20 levels of Hype Train? That's probably only something like 2,000 subs. It's only probably somewhere in the range of 1,500 to 2,000 subs. That's not that much. We could do that. If she doesn't endorse Zoran, I'm going to withdraw my support for her 100%. I honestly, I'm thinking about it. We should start calling her office. We should organize a thing to call her office and be like, hey, longtime supporter of AOC. I have a ton of her merch. I've donated to the campaign. I just wanted to let you know if she doesn't endorse Zoran, I am going to end all of my donations and I'm not going to support her going forward. I feel like at this point, it's starting to become an actual thing to be mad about. Before, I wasn't getting mad about it. I was like, let them cook. But at this point, it's starting to get right to the situation where it's absurd. Lander's not going to win. Brad Lander's not going to win. None of these other fucking joke campaigns at 5% are going to win. It's Zoran or Cuomo. That's it.
Senator. And that's the reason why she's just like taking a softer approach. But like, that's stupid.
They're going to go after her nuclear. Who do you think will be better for helping her win? The New York City mayor or Cuomo, who would go nuclear on her anyway? She's not avoiding anything.
Okay. I don't think that's smart. I don't think that's good instincts. Okay. I'm not saying, run around saying, death to Israel or whatever. Okay. But like showing support to someone like Zoran and building a momentum building a movement, like having a little bit more courage and having a little bit more confidence in your power is good. It's a good thing. I think it's like not the expectation here is not a crazy one. I don't think it's a crazy thing to expect AOC and Bernie to endorse Zoran, especially when he is clearly the number one guy, especially now with Cuomo getting a DOJ suit slapped on him for, you know, annihilating boomers during COVID, which clearly is a political move, and it's identical to what happened with Eric Adams. It's identical to Eric Adams. Like, the Eric Adams situation is that there was a valid investigation from the DOJ under the Brandon leadership. And then when Trump came into office, he basically used that existing investigation, dropped the investigation using the DOJ powers that he has to drop the investigation to control Eric Adams better. Okay? It's crazy. They're going to endorse Ladner because they know he has no chance of winning. Yeah, I'm going to lose my mind if that happens. Like, no disrespect to that guy either. If Zoran wasn't running and wasn't so popular, then he's a perfectly valid candidate to back. Okay? He is a progressive. He's definitely, I mean, look, he's a progressive. He's nowhere near as progressive as Zoran is, okay?
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fucking shit? By the way, chat, we are 15 seconds away, and we are five subs away from hitting 7,000. We are dangerously close. No answer? If you live outside the district, please call our DC office. Please know that it's a federal crime to threaten the life of a member or staffer. Jesus Christ. My God, chat, we fucking did it. We smashed through 7,000 subs. It just updated. 70-70. We smashed through it with a golden kappa hype trade. Everybody enjoy your golden kappas. Chew fucking chew. Thank you, Ethan Klein.
Having said that, Brad Lander is the name that we're talking about. He's
Brad
the person.
Lander is the Elizabeth Warren of the New York City mayor's race. I should tweet this. I don't care if you like him or he's done good shit in the past. He's not going to win. Like, this is the reality. Warren existed in the primary in 2020 to split votes against Bernie. That's why she stayed in. Because somebody might be like, Warren won, Bernie too. She stayed in, she kept their vote. And by not endorsing him, she also made some undecided people who were interested in him maybe question his viability. Because if he can't even get Elizabeth Warren's endorsement, how can he win the general? So her entire campaign was about splitting and stopping Bernie. That's the same thing with Brad Lander. He's not going to win. Having Lander in the race works against Cuomo. That is a fucking joke. If Brad Lander came out and endorsed and worked for Zoran, more of his voters would support Zoran. This is the other thing that people don't understand. Just because a poll says, oh, so-and-so, if they were in the race, I'd vote for X, Y, and Z other person. That's not how politics works. When you endorse, you also campaign. You also fold in your volunteers. You also fold in your staff. You fold in your connections. You become a major advisor. More than, it doesn't just go the way the poll might have shown it before you drop out. You pull a lot of your people. That's how it fucking works. And like, the idea of like, oh, I'm going to endorse 5 people. Fuck you. There's only one mayor. There's only one president. If I decide in the voting booth to rank other people, that's fine.
That actually even head of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, Greg Kazar, endorsed as well, which I asked him directly why he did that. So Brad Lander is the current New York City comptroller, okay? And he's not a bad guy by any means, okay? As far as like running for New York mayor, he's not a bad guy by any means, all right? But right now, there is clearly a much more valid opponent to Cuomo. He's not, but not pro-Palestine. Yeah, he's a lib. He's a liberal Zionist. He's not. I'm saying, like, adjusted to normal circumstances. If Zoran wasn't running, if Zoran wasn't in the running, you wouldn't even entertain that. You would be like, there's no one on there aside from Zoran that's like a committed anti-Zionist, which is ironic because people are still saying that Zoran is not a committed anti-Zionist either. Zoran is a committed anti-Zionist.
They're scared of Zoran stealing AOC spotlight if he wins. That would be absolutely pathetic.
In any case, from the Breakfast Club interview yesterday, what? You want me to watch a 57-minute interview with David Hogg on the Breakfast Club? That's crazy. Didn't he say Israel has a right to defend itself? Who? Zoran? No, he did not say that. No, they asked him if Israel has a right to exist, and he gave the classic, like, yes, Israel has a right to exist. No, he didn't say, I don't think he said Israel has a right to defend itself. What the f? No, he just said Israel has a right to exist, which is, again, not the best answer.
The answer to that is the answer that Francesca Albanese gave, who is a United Nations special rapporteur. And what she says is, if somebody asks you, does Israel have the right to exist? You say, Israel exists. It's a member of the United Nations. It's a signatory to the Genocide Convention. Israel exists. States exist. That is a fact of life. My opinion on those states doesn't matter. What matters is, what is international law? What are the agreements they've signed? And are they conforming? Stop distracting me with dumbass questions. The United States of America exists. Let's talk about what really matters, which is the starving children. And as mayor of New York City, I can't dissolve Israel. So why are you asking me dumb fuck questions like that? What are you trying to ask?
Dude, stop. Why do we always do this? Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Dude, you have to. By the way, chat, earlier I said the cringiest thing Zoran has ever said, and then I didn't say it because I was like, why? What purpose is it for me? Because somebody brings up a politician. Why am I reflexively bringing up their worst take or their worst argument that they've made? That's like dumb. Who gives a fuck? To give more allowances to politicians that you know are on your side. Okay, that's it. That's it. Because you have to adjust it, not to like what the audiences look like, not to what the actual voter base looks like, but instead what the average, like how American politics works. Okay, that's it. And as time allows, as opinions shift, you can be more open about your perspective if time permits. Okay, if the environment permits. Like you have to be normal. Is being signal boosted by ops to get Zoran support down? That tweet went viral with it. Had posts a few days later, a protester yelling at him and then calling you anti-Semitic. Yeah, I know. Our leaders have to have a commitment to the truth, and they have to lead. They have to be unafraid of leading. Okay, and a part of that is to sometimes say things that might come across as scary. But as long as you have the courage. As long as you say the truth, as long as you have the courage to say the truth, I think you will win more favors than you think. That's it. How is this any different than the lesser evil argument? Because this person is running for office, dude. A lot of people, I think, who despise bourgeois elections don't understand. They on the one hand will despise the duopoly within the bourgeois democratic process that exists in this country, while simultaneously expecting politicians that are running in those races to not even remotely try to tailor their messaging to an audience. Like, I'm sorry, you have to adjust your expectations to the average. Okay, the average. What is the average position? I said this back then when his response was, that Israel has a right to exist. I said, like, the correct response to this, and I think someone like Zoran should, have a better response for this, obviously, considering, where we are at this point. It was like 19 months into this genocide.
Trump just denounced Israel's apartheid and genocide? What? What? No, he didn't. What are you saying? You are a 19-month subscriber. I am going to fucking ban you.
Having said that, however, okay, he is a Muslim dude running for mayor of New York. Like, what are we talking about? It's not everyone has the same allowances. Brad Lander, okay, who is Jewish, could literally scream from the mountaintops that the Zionist entity must be dismantled piece by piece if he wanted to. Bernie Sanders could say the same, straight up, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. This is an allowance that American Jews have that a Muslim doesn't. Wake up, okay? Jesus Christ. some of y'all act like we don't live in the real world, you know? Politicians already have a different set of standards, but it's crazy. No, you can say, listen, if an American Jewish person says something like that, and then all of the like Israel advocacy groups turn around and go, oh, this Jew is a Jew hater or whatever, right? He's anti-Semitic. No American is going to comprehend that. Americans are not smart enough to even understand that there can be anti-Semitic Jews, like Stephen Miller, for example. Okay, they don't understand that. So it's like using that stupidity to your advantage. Do you understand me? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, Americans don't look at that and go, a token Jew, I guess. Like, they don't think about it like that. That's why Candace Owens gets so much play, being a black woman who says the most white supremacist shit. Do you understand me?
Because everyone's a white liberal, and white liberals like to play Pokemon. They collect them all. You know, they like to play this kind of tawdry, vulgar form of identity politics, which is, if I could find someone of an identity that agrees with me, my position is not X, Y, and Z bigotry. So if I have some homophobic opinion and I find one gay person who agrees with me, well, now I'm not homophobic. Because I have, oh, you're going to disagree with a gay man about this issue? And you're going to call me a homophobe? Well, I found this gay guy who agreed with me. That's what they're trying to do. Same thing with all of this shit. That's how these white liberals play the fucking game, which is you have an opinion and then you try to hunt for a member, a marginalized identity person that you could use to protect yourself from having to make a fucking argument that's rational. And like, that's the problem we're in. We live in an anti-rational period where a lot of people on the left hate rationality. They think it's white supremacist to make sense and be logical.
Her entire job is to be that person, to put a black face on white supremacist statements. My opinion on it at the time, my statement on it at the time was like, look, the real answer to this is that no state has a right to exist. This is no different than saying, does Nazi Germany have a right to exist? Or does apartheid South Africa have a right to exist? You know, does Rhodesia have a right to exist? No state has a right to exist. People have a right to exist. Israel already exists as a state. Okay. And no, Israel in its current formation as a genocidal apartheid state does not have a right to exist. It's a criminal enterprise. But I think in that moment, someone like Zoran as a visible Muslim brown socialist guy is making a calculation, a different calculation than someone like yourself or someone like myself. I am much more forgiving of people toning down their rhetoric, especially if they're running for office. That's my point. I said no state has a right to exist. People have a right to exist. Nazi Germany had no right to exist, neither did Rhodesia. Israel is an apartheid state doing a genocide, has no right to exist in its current formation. Wait, what the I actually replied to my own tweet, but where is it? Now do China and Russia? He's definitely paid. I actually replied to this post, but I can't even find it. But Twitter is so broken that it's like you can't even see anything correctly.
Does Jordan have a right to exist? Like, here's the thing. All of the nations of the Middle East were carved and created by British and French imperialism. Who has rights are people. States don't have fucking rights. All right. People have a right to self-determination. And these states were imposed on the Middle East by French and British colonialism. What the fuck is Lebanon? What the fuck is Syria? What the fuck is Jordan? These are all created and crafted and invented by the British to serve their imperialist purposes.
I always defer to the Mohammed El Kurd tweet on this. Yeah, here. He said, just in case you didn't know, Israel has a right to exist as a racist anti-Palestinian dog whistle, which implies the extermination of the Palestinian people. It was crafted and popularized by the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and repeating it verbatim today as a genocide is waged is especially egregious and akin to saying Nazi Germany had a right to exist while it was carrying out the Holocaust. I cannot for the life of me figure out why any self-respecting Palestinian or Arab would let such a degrading remark slide without question, even if, and particularly when it is from an ally we have to put our support behind and trust in. And no, I am not allergic to power. I'm allergic to indignity. Though I thought it's implied, let me clarify, I do hope Zoran wins the mayoral race because that's in the best interest of the working class New Yorkers. Also, no progressive politician should be repeating Zionist talking points of 2025. Two things can be true. Critique does not equal cancellation. Yeah, I said, this was my response to my own tweet. I said, also, I like Zoran a lot. I don't think anyone has to play these games anymore, but maybe the boomer elector of New York City is not equipped to hear that from a Muslim mayoral candidate. You know, it's insidiously vague because saying it has no right to exist is implied to mean that you want to end all the people that currently live there, which obviously has no nuance whatsoever. Exactly. Anyway, yeah, Mike from PA had a good take on this. Yes, exactly. When he was on Noah's stream the other day, I saw it as well. You can't expect people running for major office to say the right thing all the time. It's better to know if they're a sympathizer versus an opportunist, and Zoran is very much a sympathizer. Exactly. There are two different types of politicians. You have sympathizers and you have phonies, okay? Opportunists. Opportunists are people like Fetterman. Fetterman is an opportunist, okay? An opportunist adorns or adopts the aesthetics of like revolutionary politics or socialist politics, or says that they actually care, but they actually don't care. And then you have sympathizers who the expectation is that they will moderate their tone when running for office. Okay, Richie Torres is an opportunist. Kirsten Sinema was an opportunist. Cory Booker used to be an opportunist back in the day. He doesn't even do that anymore. Obama, opportunist. Most politicians are opportunists. And then you have the unique politician that is a committed person. Okay, I think Zoran is committed. He is, I guess, a sympathizer, if you want to call it that. Anyway, let's move on. I don't know why we're relitigating this every time I bring this shit up. Look, I'm as big as an AOC defender as they come, but it is worrying that there has not been even a mention of this campaign by her and Bernie, and even more problematic that her office is a black box where we don't know what the f*** is going on. Half of the cuties of the Olbermann Zoran endorsement aren't happy people. They are complaining about AOC. A lot of you aren't even into socialism or progressivism or whatever the richest field for negative complainers you were naturally drawn to. Listen, we need more party discipline, and her refusing to endorse in her city is just insane. I say this as someone who isn't an AOC obsessive. Is she refusing? I don't know that. I think she's doing it on the same schedule she does any citywide endorsement for someone who is maxed out.
Listen, by the way, I am not anti-AOC as a freak. I criticize AOC for her mistakes, but I also recognize her as a sympathizer of ours. But I also think she's a little bit traumatized by the internet and the attention she's got. That being said, this is the mayor of her city. This is America's #1 largest city. Like, give me a fucking break. You know, you have an opinion about this. Like, come on. Like, you cannot be like, oh, I'm so busy. Busy doing what? Playing League of Legends? Come on. Mike, a year ago, I made a pledge to take a shot every time you were right, and now I'm an alcoholic, and I had lost my friends and my family, and I'm about to lose my job and my home. Please stop being right, I beg you. I'm occasionally wrong. It happens.
The problem is Zoran is not maxed out. That's precisely the reason why she should be actually endorsing him. And she has made other citywide endorsements already. Oh, he means fundraising. Oh, okay. Well, there are other... Okay. Oh, my bad.
It doesn't matter. Her endorsing him will give massive boost to Zoran with earned media, which you cannot buy. It'll be a national news story. AOC Bernie Sanders endorsed, socialist Zoran Mandami for mayor of New York City. Zoran is controversial for his strong stance against Israel. Like, that will be the national media fucking take. That will be the story. There, I just predicted it.
I misunderstood. Zoran is maxed out on fundraising.
I'm sure all the rallies she's doing are filling her pockets, though. No. It's illegal for a congressperson to make money from speeches. I don't know if you knew this or not, but I'm happy to correct it. A sitting congressperson cannot make money from speeches.
That's correct. Having said that, however, no. There's something much more important than fundraising. That is name recognition. It's not. Zoran is maxed out on the fundraising, but he is not maxed out on the name recognition. AOC is a nationally recognized, very popular New York politician. Okay? Her word at this stage would be incredible. Okay? The most impact, the maximum impact that you could have to potentially even swing this election in Zoran's favor would be to hold a goddamn New York rally, one of those like fight the oligarchy rallies, and then endorse Zoran and have Zoran speak at that New York rally. If there was a Bernie AOC rally in New York and then they endorsed Zoran and they had Zoran speak, oh my Lord, the AOC #1 endorsement would absolutely close this gap. And unlike Wiley last time, who went from underwater to almost winning, Zoran already has run by far the strongest campaign and will be able to do much more to maximize his impact with voters. Conversely, a non-number one endorsement will ensure the press focuses mainly on the fact that it wasn't a...
If she does never endorse him, is it safe to say AOC is not an ally? I mean, if AOC doesn't endorse Zoran at all, I would consider that to be a major, major, major mistake. To the point of like showing that she has dog shit political instincts. What I think is going to happen is she's going to endorse him and Brad Lander and maybe one other person. That's what I predict. I predict she's going to do something that's very annoying and pathetic like that. I don't think she would not endorse him. I think she's going to be like, I would really like blah, blah, or blah, blah, or blah to be mayor, which means that Zoran will not really be able to like trumpet it. You know what I mean? Because it'd be kind of embarrassing to trumpet something where they're endorsing multiple people. So she'll endorse him to get the heat off her, but not like endorse him alone so that like he feels kind of handcuffed from like trumpeting it too much. Because it'll be embarrassing to be like, she also endorsed Brad Lander. She also endorsed blah. And here's what I would do if I were him. If she does something like that, I would have a thing ready, an advertisement ready, where it says, AOC endorses Zoran Mandami for New York City mayor. And I would just go all in. I would go all in on it. Like the moment she endorses me, even if she endorses 10 other people, I would be spending a huge ad buy on pushing her endorsement. I would act like her endorsing multiple people is totally normal. I wouldn't be weird about it at all. I would just go all in on it. It would be fucking great.
A number one endorsement saying like rank Zoran as number one. That is the word. Those are the words that need to come out of AOC and Bernie Sanders' mouth, but especially AOC. I hate these dipshits, by the way. This guy is like a massive Israel dick rider. I see him constantly. I hate these goddamn liberals.
This Constance guy is a fucking loser. This is probably, there's a few people on Twitter that like, you know, anonymous like Ethan, you know, like Sam Hyde fans or like Asmongold fans. They're pathetic losers, and you can imagine how pathetic they are, but they usually only have a few hundred tweets on their alt account, so you're kind of just making shit up. But this Constance account may be the most pathetic account in the entire world. Legitimately, the most pathetic account in the entire world. They have literally hundreds of thousands of posts. Hundreds of thousands. If you have hundreds of thousands of posts and you have 8,000 followers, they're annoying because they're constantly posting, but nobody likes you, bro. Nobody follows you, bro. How can you see how many posts somebody has? You used to be, oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. You guys see that? You guys see that? It says 291,000 posts. Hold on. Let me see if I can get my camera to focus. I'm going to show you this. Because when I saw this was a moment of like hilarity for me. Come on. Come on. God damn it. Fuck. I can't get it to focus. Point is, screenshot it and send it to yourself in Discord. God damn it. Stop saying things that are funny. Stop saying things that are correct. Stupid, sexy Discord. There. It's on top of the screen right now. Wait, really? Wait, what? Huh? Oh my God, I'm so stupid. It is on the top of the screen. It's right there. How did I miss that? How did I miss that? I'm having an off day. Yeah, I really am. I really am. 291,000 posts and 8,000 followers while following 4,100 people. So half of those followers are like polite follow backs. Hard scrabble yet privileged New Jersey flotsam. Like, that's crazy, dude. To post this much and just nobody likes you. Like, absolutely nobody likes you. You're just yelling into the fucking ether and no one fucking likes you. That's crazy.
Mamdani would make a bad mayor in the Brandon Johnson mold. If she endorses and he loses, she has the stink of his loss on her. If she endorses and he wins, she's tainted by association to his inevitably terrible tenure as mayor. I hate these guys, man. These guys just want to lose, you know? Or not, they want to lose. They just don't want the left to win. I know she met in person with Lander and Mamdani. I know. A while back, like a couple weeks ago. AOC meetings with Lander and Mamdani spurred talk of possible mayoral endorsement. And considering the Congressional Progressive Caucus leader, Greg Kazar, early on endorsed Brad Lander, while simultaneously saying Zoran would be great, but like endorse Brad Lander, I am worried that AOC is going to do some fuck shit like this, which is, it's loser shit, okay? It is straight up loser shit. We don't ride the polar coaster, but oh my God, first round 27, last round 44%. And most importantly for organizers, that's with 33% not knowing who Zoran Mamdani is. The ceiling is so high. Oh, and this is the other side of the Zoran conversation. All of these Yimbys, Zoran, much like many progressive figureheads, has a Yimby sympathetic campaign. He is Mr. Dezoning, okay? He is an advocate for for building more housing. That is a pivotal part of his campaign promises. And yet, all of these abundance-aligned, political commentators are anti-Zoran. So much so that they are quite literally saying they might even endorse Eric Adams. Once again, this kind of stuff is quite literally a perfect demonstration that these guys and their position is just anti-left. That's it. They're just anti-left charlatans, and that's the only thing they care about. Honestly, might pick Adams, and I do not like Adams much at all. The wire fraud, bribery accepting, witness tampering, evidence destroying guy who sold out to Trump to get charges dropped against him, resulting in his resignation of multiple U.S. attorneys in protest over the lefty who supports some rent control along with many YIMBY policies. I do not believe Zoran would support YIMBY policies in any meaningful way. You're right. I'm sure the bribery guy will be much more likely to take on NIMBYs than the socialist guy. A YIMBY is a yes in my backyard. A NIMBY is not in my backyard. It's the people that want to deregulate housing and engage in, like, some of the aspects of YIMBYism are correct in terms of like the necessity for more housing that needs to be built. A lot of that movement, unfortunately, is also libertarian adjacent. If you are a YIMBY, but you're also pro real estate developers, pro capital, then you are an unserious person. If you are NIMBYs, on the other hand, can be conservatives that don't want, black and brown people or poor people in their neighborhood, and also people who are anti-gentrification initiatives. Both YIMBYs can be of the leftist variety or hyper right-wing, and NIMBYs are the same as well. You can have leftist NIMBYs or you can have incredibly right-wing NIMBYs. It just means, like, do you want more building? In the most basic ways to explain it. In the most reductive terms, do you want to build more housing or not? Okay? So, but a lot of these guys, the abundance faction, Mamdani triangulates a bunch of YIMBY policy, but they don't care about that and decide to back a felonious, unregistered foreign agent crook who's being extorted by the Trump admin to crack down on immigrants. And that's because they actually are going to vote for Andrew Cuomo. They just don't want to say it out loud.
Andrew Cuomo is a sex criminal. Like, I want you to understand, chat, I think this is very useful for you to understand the point that I've been making. Liberals would rather endorse corrupt sex criminals than work with somebody who is giving them everything they supposedly want with the abundance, YIMBY policies, right? But they still won't go with him. So there's no way to reach out to these fucking libs. It's pointless, but yet people keep pretending. I don't know why.
Okay? Because there is functionally no difference between Andrew Cuomo and Eric Adams. They are both incredibly right-wing, incredibly crooked figures of New York politics at this point. And there is no difference between them. They are both literally, like, Andrew Cuomo already is open to the same exact line of attack and the same exact line of control that Trump implemented against Eric Adams. He already has a DOJ court case that was announced. So it is identical, okay? So when I see people go, I don't know about this, here's where I'm at on the New York City race more broadly, says Matthew Iglesias. It's not just that one guy from the Center for New Liberalism. It's this guy speaking at the Welcome Pack conference too. Given a choice between a leader on the left who supports a bunch of YIMBY policies or stuffing the left, they pick a bribe-taking, Trump-extorted puppet mayor. Here's where I'm at on the New York City mayor more broadly, says Matthew Iglesias, egg boy himself. Polling right now suggests the final round of RCV in the New York City mayoral election will come down to Andrew Cuomo or Zoran Mamdani, two deeply flawed options for abundance-focused moderates. After ranking better top-line options like Zell nor Myrie, who would you rank fifth between Cuomo and Mamdani to ensure your vote has meaning in the final round? Among the top two, I think Cuomo is a bad choice and Mamdani is a disastrous choice. I would support Eric Adams in the general election. Like, he thinks Mamdani is worse than Andrew Cuomo. Egg Boy will be Republican in 8 years or less. He already is, man. He already is. Just weird how the red line for libs when it comes to voting always comes down to left-wing policies. I know. I'm sorry, but if you don't like Zohran Mamdani and you're like one of these guys who's like, I want to build more housing, then you're not a serious person at all. Just look at the difference in favorability here. What is this goddamn link that you sent me, dude? The YouGov poll. I couldn't even... It's getting blocked automatically by... Just send me the normal YouGov link instead of sending it to me through a tiny URL. Yeah, what Americans think of 120 political leaders. Wait, hold on. There was the difference in favorability. Cuomo -4, AOC and Bernie 61 and 75 among Dem voters. Andrew Cuomo, 69% awareness, -30 net favorability. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Democrats. Obama has a +86 net favorability. Kamala Harris 84. Bernie Sanders 75. Biden 70. Ugh, gross. Tim Walz 61. Walz is followed by AOC +61, who is the only Democrat in the top 10 who hasn't run for president or vice president. Also in the top 10 after Ocasio-Cortez or Hillary Clinton. Oh, gross. God. Elizabeth Warren 58. Cory Booker 52. Pete Buttigieg 51. The survey was conducted before Booker's 25-hour speech on the Senate floor.
Nobody gives a shit. They forgot about that already. They forgot about that dumb shit.
Further down in the ranking is a former Democratic House Leader Pelosi +38. Schumer, Adams is -26 and Cuomo is -1 are the only two Democratic politicians in our survey who have a negative net favorability among Democrats. Great. The Obama propaganda is crazy. I genuinely didn't even realize he sucked until I became a fan of yours and all my friends still think he's perfect. Yeah, I know. Anyway, it's just, it is ridiculous. All right, let's see what David Hogg was saying at this Breakfast Club interview, talking to the largest advocate for resistance liberalism, woke activist Charlemagne the God.
Of course, there are challenges with Democratic leadership, but what I would say is, especially in the case of somebody like Hakeem Jeffries, let's get him the majority so we can see what he can actually do with that majority in the first place.
He's not going to do anything. I can see, here's the thing, and I treat it like anything else, right? Like, you know how they say money doesn't change you. It just multiplies whatever you already are. More power is not going to change these people. If you're a coward with no power, you're going to be a coward with power. We've seen plenty of Democrats who have power who are still cowards. Hakeem ain't going to do nothing different with power.
Well, I think if we have the right people elected that are out there, they're going to be able, ultimately, sometimes it's not.
I cannot believe this man endorsed both Mayor Michael Bloomberg for president and then Pete Buttigieg.
I don't know, chat. I don't know. Maybe I'm just delusional right now, but I feel like things, I don't know. I feel like we're going to win. I don't know why. You know, clip this in a year or two, and maybe I'm just crazy. But it, honest to God, feels like we're going to win. I could just feel the energy, and I could feel the way that people are turning away from corporate media, which was the last way that Democrats could control their base. And it feels like people are finally just turning away from it in a really fundamental way. It feels like we're going to win. This New York City mayor's race is still Cuomo's to lose. No, but absolute. But here's the thing that you don't understand. It doesn't matter if Zohran doesn't win. He was a state rep and he came out of nowhere and he forced a former governor of the state of New York with every single corrupt organization behind him into a one-on-one race. Name recognition is through the fucking roof. He'll be able to run for other shit, chat. He could run for a congressional seat. He could run for something else. It's nowhere near over. So this is just a free roll, you know? If he wins, it's a fucking insane win. If he doesn't win, he's massively raised his profile and he'll be able to run for something else. So it's a win-win as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it's over. I think he's actually got a very good shot of pulling this off. I'm not ready to say that Zohran's going to win quite yet. It feels to me that it's a lot closer to 50-50 than anything else.
He is so correct sometimes and so off the mark on other moments. It is shocking. Okay. Just remember that man right there endorsed Michael Bloomberg and then Pete Buttigieg. He is, oh my Lord. I mean, it's kind of makes sense because he's such a, he is like the perfect liberal.
Not a matter of what you want to do. When you have to get elected to those positions within the House, for example, if we get more people elected that are saying, no, this is not enough, we have to fight harder, that we're not just going to stick in our positions of power forever. And we're going to say to you, for example, that if we're going to vote for you, this is what we want to see, because obviously he has to be elected to be the majority speaker of the House.
Yeah.
By having some more of those young people that are on the front lines of these issues of addressing that, I know in those internal deliberations that it's not so much a matter of what he wants to do. It's more a matter of if he wants to get elected, he is going to have to be able to fight harder. And I know that those young people will push him to do that. And if they feel like he's not going to, then they won't vote for it.
Ugh, God, we're so cooked. Every time I look at the Democratic Party, I just feel like we're incredibly cooked. Oh, this was awesome. This tweet is going crazy, by the way. Hassan Asmongold dichotomy is fascinating. The left's big streamer has a poli-sci degree and does real activism. Even then, he's pretty divisive on the left. The right's a guy who plays.
That's because the right wing knows that Asmongold doesn't. Here's the thing: Asmongold is a joker. He's a clown. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck what Asmongold thinks. Nobody is following Asmongold for policy. Asmongold doesn't have any real opinions. He just reacts to what's going on the screen and says "based." That's it. There's nothing there. Whereas with Hassan, he represents a specific political viewpoint with policies attached that is in opposition to other policy viewpoints within the Democratic Party, primarily neoliberals. So neoliberals do not agree with Hassan. So Hassan is fighting an inter-party struggle to win power. Asmongold doesn't give a shit about any of that. He's too stupid. So of course Hassan is going to be more controversial because he represents real shit. Asmongold represents nothing but social media grifting.
Warcraft and lives in rotten animal flesh who has something to say, basically Jesus to them. This guy turns around and says, charisma, empathy, and self-reflection. You said it yourself. Hassan is divisive even on the left. Is it really hard to like us? It is really hard to like Hassan even for the left. Meanwhile, Asmongold is just a guy who keeps streaming for his audience. Just turns out most of his audience is a bunch of old people who play or used to play video games and ended up leaning to the right in politics. Asmon does well when it comes to appear close to his audience. He's just one of them. His audience can self-reflect on some of his behavior. Of course, not many agree with. It's okay to be a filthy roach, but Asmon has effectively turned that into a meme and laughs about it. Hassan, on the other hand, gets called a rich millionaire living in a mansion and gets annoyed by it, and also is hard for people to see themselves close to that. Just some like real truth, real criticism. Oh, never mind. Turns out career hater is always like this. Famously, old people use Twitch. Yes, Asmongold's audience probably is either similar to mine in age or even older, potentially. Also, no one lives in the same circumstances as Asmongold, like literally no one. He polled it. It's much older than yours. Considering that all of the people that come in here from Asmongold's stream to shit on me are oftentimes accounts created in like 2013, I am confident in stating that, yes, most of his diehard Fedayeen are 35 plus. His audience is brigading fear and video.
All right, okay. Whew. I think that's going to be a good place for me to call it today. The vibes are good. Mike was right. Go listen to, if you want to hear more of that clip of me talking about sympathizers versus whatever, go check out
where the people,
me and Noah saving the world and destroying Ethan Klein. Make sure you hit the subscribe, the like, you comment. We're killing it. I appreciate all of you. Here's all my links. And I'm going to send you over to Vio. Thank you so much for hanging out. Vio has been doing Vanilla Mace reacts. Vio is like going to become the Vanilla Mace orbiter. Who doesn't want to be a Vanilla Mace orbiter? Honestly, she seems great. All right, everybody, stay safe out there. Solidarity forever, my friends. Free Palestine. And of course, solidarity forever. All right, everybody. Peace from the river to the sea.